welcome to the Metalheads podcast. My name is George.
This is Buke.
This is Jay.
This is Will.
And this is John.
And we are joined today by Steve Jansson of Crypt Sermon. How you doing today, Steve?
Not bad. How about yourself?
Pretty good. So, Steve, tell us a little bit about Crypt Sermon before we get started.
Well, Crypt Sermon is a doom metal band, I guess, of the traditional or epic variety, whatever you call it. Started the band... I think 2013 was when the earliest incarnations of the band started. It was initially just supposed to be a little project, not really so much a full-time thing, but it was just, we wanted to just start a doom band that was more focused on songwriting and was just a little more nuanced because there was a while there where bands were coming through town and it was just all these, it's all the same, these huge amps, wall-sized pedal boards, 2 riffs in every song. It just got old. So it was like, hey, why don't we just try to do some more classic, doom, and let's focus more on songwriting than playing as loud as you fucking can all the time. So, and it just, we recorded a demo, and then that seemed to be pretty well received. Dark Descent picked it up right away, and then we recorded the album, and it, I don't know, people seem to like it. It's done, a lot more people seem to care about it more than I initially thought they would. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, there you have it.
Cool.
Not much to it.
Now, prior to Crypt Sermon, you and Brooks are also in a death metal band called Trench Rot, which I know Buke is a big fan of.
Oh, am I ever?
So tell us how, obviously you just explained why you went doom metal, but how did a death metal band, or some guys from a death metal band anyway, decide to do that?
We're just music fans. We're obviously big metal fans, big metalheads. We're not really so much focused on just doing one thing or sounding one way. A lot of the projects are just things we've wanted to do for a long time since we were kids. We grew up listening to old school death metal, and now there's a ton of bands doing it again, but we just wanted to do an old school death metal project, do an album, and we're pretty much, it's more or less, Trench Rot's more or less a done deal. Our drummer's moving away.
I was just going to ask you if you guys were still doing that.
No, it was just something we did for fun, and we enjoyed it, but now we're just all kind of moving on to other things.
Steve, usually when you're a guest on somebody else's podcast, you save the bad news for the end.
Buke, wipe away your tears.
Yeah.
He was so excited when he discovered that.
Yeah, I was because I had known that, but I, of course, had forgotten that little tidbit. And then doing some research on you today, I was reminded of that and fucking blown away. It's bad enough when you find a band that you like, but they have a couple year history, and you try and go back and buy some vinyl or something for you guys, and it's already sold out. So that was my first heartbreaker, and now this. So
sorry, man.
Hey, it is what it is. Go ahead, George.
Going back to Out of the Garden, it's rare that all of us on the podcast agree on anything. We all sort of have our own little niche, and so we're constantly arguing about things. But I think all of us are fans of Out of the Garden, and so that's impressive alone. Obviously not to the outside world, but for us, that's pretty impressive that we're all on the same page with that. So you released Out of the Garden in 2015, and you just released the new single De Mysteries Doom Satanas on the Decibel Flexi Disc. Is that the only place that's available?
Yes.
Okay, because I actually dumped my digital subscription to Decibel so that I could get the print version to get that flexi disc.
Hey, you can get it on SoundCloud. Decibel releases all the flexi disc songs on SoundCloud.
Now you tell me.
Well, you know what? Albert told me the other day, because I was complaining to Albert when I saw him for that collaboration beer, and I was like, can you just put a download code or something? Because I don't have a record player. And he's like, we're all on SoundCloud, idiot. I'm like, oh, thanks.
So tell us how this song came about.
Well, Albert approached us about doing this flexi. We really wanted to do it, but we're also pretty busy guys. We're always, doing other things, running around. Brooks just had a kid. He has a family now, so we don't have a ton of extra material, if you will, laying around. So we knew we wanted to record some sort of cover. And we were initially talking about doing something that was more within our comfort zone, but we decided to sort of push ourselves and challenge ourselves, try to expand our sound a little bit, and just try something completely new. So the Mayhem cover came about actually when Enrique was talking to TT of Abigor, and he was like, man, we're thinking about doing a cover, and TT said, you should do a Doom cover of that song. And I didn't know how serious he was, was. I was like, I kind of chuckled at it. But then I sat down one day, I was like, huh. And I started coming up with some variations of riffs from the songs. And I thought, this could be kind of cool. I mean, it could be a total disaster. But so I came up with some rough ideas, and then we all pieced it together. And working with TT was amazing. That guy's just a total genius. Handled all like the Latin parts in the song.
Nice.
And did a lot of the vocal layers and just general mastering. He was just amazing to work with, and it turned out way better than we could have ever imagined. But yeah, I mean, if it was one of those things where like, if this ends up being a catastrophe, we're going to abort and we're going to do something else. But it turned out really cool. We're all really proud of it, though.
You don't hear about Abigor enough, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, Abigor's incredible. He's a top-notch, just unbelievable musician. He would bounce ideas back to us with a matter of minutes. We'd send him something, and he'd say, "Oh, why don't you try it like this?" And then he'd send us back these like vocal files with like 10 layers. I'm just like, Jesus Christ! Like, this guy's from another planet. Yeah, it was really cool.
Where are you guys, Steve? I don't really know where you're located.
Philadelphia.
Okay, maybe I did know that.
Hey,
the greatest city on earth, by the way.
All right, fair enough.
As Will here is a brewer, is it safe? And we all enjoy beer here on the podcast. Is it safe to say the band is fueled by Yuengling?
Not so much these days.
By the way, it's called Pennsylvania Spring Water Butte.
I mean, I grew up drinking a lot of Yuengling, meaning I stole Yuenglings from my friends' parents as a teenager and drank that. And it's cheap, but I honestly, I think it's just to the point now where I just need a long, long break. I haven't
like the rest of your life type deal. Okay, I'm good.
Yeah, kind of. I haven't had it in a really long time.
Yeah, I didn't realize. I'm from George and I are both from Maryland, and I went to school. I played football up in PA. I didn't realize how much of a thing Yuengling was until I was in my college drinking years in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, it was weird. I remember for the longest time it was like, and I was still like underage at this point, but I was drinking beer.
Yeah.
I'd leave them like, "Oh, dude, you guys have Yuengling up there?" But like, what the fucking beer? Yeah, sure, it's everywhere. Like, I'm like, I didn't realize this was like a thing. Yeah, like, oh yeah, I guess that's a thing. And then I remember my brother-in-law and my sister lived out in Chicago. He'd always like ask for a couple cases of it for Christmas. And I was just like, I guess this is like a thing. But yeah, it's been a while since I've had any Yuengling.
What are you drinking right now, Steve?
I'm drinking Old Rasputin at the moment.
Nice.
A lot of fans of that one on here.
Yes.
So I'll be switching to Miller Lite here in a little bit. So I'm going to be
no shame in that.
Gotta hydrate.
Yeah. If you, it might be disappointing to hear that I think a lot of the Crypt sermon stuff was fueled by just a ton of pounding that shit.
Hey, I'm a Coors Light guy through and through. I will defend Coors Light, So
none of us will, but he will.
Yeah. There's a time and place for everything. I'm not a beer snob at all. I like good beer. I like shitty beer. It's beer's beer to me.
Since we're talking about beer, all of us here in the pod, we're going to be covering it next month. A couple weeks back, we interviewed the guys from Chemist.
Almost all of us.
Yeah, you're going to be joining them at the Decibel Metal and Beer Fest, April 22nd through the 23rd. Mm-hmm. Share your thoughts on that.
It's going to be awesome. We actually played with Chemists in January in New York City at Vitus.
Steve, may I say, I had two friends there at that show, and they raved about you guys for the next week or so, nonstop. Cool. They said how fun you and Chemists were live, and they said, in fact, one of them said if they could put a show together right now in metal, they would want you two and maybe like a Tribulation on the bill, and they said it would be the most enjoyable show you could put together.
We had Chemists on the program or on the pod a little while back, and actually they spoke about you guys. They talked about that show.
Awesome.
And they said nice things about you.
Yeah. Cool. No, that's awesome. They were great. Great dudes. It was a really fucking crowded show. It was Vitus is in a very big venue. So, I mean, I couldn't really get into the room too well because obviously like I'm still like poking around getting all my crap off stage. And then by the time they're like ready to play, I'm like just finishing packing up. So like the room was already packed. So I had to like kind of stand on my tiptoes and see what was going on. But they were great.
Obviously, you can tell you guys are having a great time because Brooks is wearing the classic vest with no shirt on underneath.
Yes. Him and Matt do that look very well.
I'm heavy set, or else here on the pod I'd be doing that look. So
Matt tries to get me to do it. I'm just like, yeah, man, I don't know.
going forward, before I'm sure George has more questions, going forward, Steve, are there any bands at the Metal and Beer Fest or breweries that you're looking forward to either hearing or seeing live or tasting their beer?
Well, definitely looking forward to seeing Chemist again. I think watching Immolation, especially playing some of their older stuff, will be really cool. As far as the beer, I'm really excited for. I'm really anxious to try. Actually, Austin from Panopticons has a brewery called Hammerheart Brewery.
Oh yes,
which is my buddy Tanner Anderson from Obsequia, however you say it, is also works there. So that'll be. But I'm excited to try that, and also of course the Unibrew stuff I love. So I'm looking forward to
Will here on the staff. Our one of our co-hosts, Will here. He will actually be there as well, doing double duty for the podcast and as a brewer, because Atlas Brewworks will be there also.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, I imagine we'll all be pretty mangled.
Yeah, we will be too.
And on a really quick note, I just want to get it out. Our Chemist did start a tour last night. It's a little short West Coast to Midwest tour. So if you heard Chemist on the pod and you want to check them out, go catch them on tour. I think they're on tour with Oathbreaker now.
Yep.
Yeah, Steve, I just want to second your love for Hammerheart, because I really want to try them, because they do a lot of traditional like Nordic beers, a lot of smoked beers. So I love smoked beer as a drinker and a brewer. So I'm pretty excited to try the Hammerheart stuff.
I have a Hammerheart shirt, but I have not tried the beer.
Yeah, I mean, the whole aesthetic of the brewery is awesome. I think it's really cool. I mean, I have yet to have any, and that's obviously soon going to change. But the whole aesthetic, like the beer hall and just the beers look incredible. I think it's going to be awesome. So.
Cool.
And also, people are going to want to drink beer in Philly because the Flyers aren't going to make the playoffs. I'm just saying. I had to
shut your dirty mouth.
I had to sneak it in.
Yeah, hockey fan?
Not at all. I don't watch it. Okay. I don't watch sports.
That's probably for the best at the moment.
So, hey, Steve, I grew up in just north of Philly in Bucks County. Are you guys all from the city, or where do you guys live?
We're all from. Where are we all from? I'm from like Central PA, from Williamsport.
I know Williamsport well.
Yeah. So I actually moved to Philly when I was 18 to start finding people to start a band with. It only took me a decade, but here I am. Brooks is from North Carolina. I think James is actually from Bucks County area. Our other guitar player, and Enrique is actually from Bolivia. So from kind of all over the place.
Okay.
What's the Philly metal scene like? I mean, Cinderella, Brittany Fox, and Crypt Sermon?
Yeah, pretty much. That's it, man. It's pretty healthy, I would say. There's a lot of like kind of punk metal, a lot of more death metal. It's a little more extreme oriented, I'd say. A little sludgier and on the crustier side, but it's healthy.
Yeah, Horrendous is from the Philly area. What's that band you guys like? The Black Crown Initiate. I think they're from Reading.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know somebody else that's from Philly that we've had on the podcast, Arthur Rizek, who
oh my god,
who produced your album.
Yeah,
we had him on late last year.
And Jay's like, "Who's that?"
That's a throwback to a previous
I don't know who they are.
How could I forget?
I'll be saying the
Arthur.
same thing about you, Steve, in a couple of weeks. They're going to be like, "You remember what Steve said?" And they'll be like, "Who the fuck is Steve?"
How could I forget? No, that's funny you should mention Arthur, because Arthur just tapped me to do fill-in for Eternal Champion and Keep It True in a couple weeks. So I'm actually between figuring out that set. I was actually working on that earlier today.
Is that Belgium? Is that a small town in Belgium, or where is that?
Germany.
Good for you, dude. That looks like a neat little fest to me.
Yeah, it's awesome. I'm excited. It was obviously it was like completely last minute, and it's just he hit me up. He was like, "Hey, like this is important. Like, do you know to fill in for an Eternal Champion gig?" I was like, I mean, sure. Well, I mean, where at? He was like, "Oh, it's a Keep It True." I was like, "Yeah, absolutely."
Absolutely. Let me see if I've got a passport handy.
Yeah. He was like, "You have a passport?" I was like, "I just got one like 2 weeks ago, so I got it in the mail." So it worked out. That. I'm excited.
Do you know who's on the bill? You guys, anybody you're excited to see?
I'm really actually excited to see Demolition Hammer again. Seared Uncle's on the bill, like Manila Road.
Yep. Omen.
Yes.
I saw Atrophy's playing that show as well.
Mm-hmm.
It just reminded me that you guys were at Maryland Death Fest. Was that 2 years ago?
It was 2016. So last year.
Oh, it was last year?
16. Yep.
Yeah. Didn't play. They played inside last year. We didn't get to see them.
Yeah, we were there, but we didn't go to Ram's Head.
Yeah, we were on the Thursday Doom Metal night.
Yep.
Yeah.
We were like the second band who played.
That was painful for us. We really wanted to go to that, and
yeah, it was a good time. You missed out.
Definitely.
Kidding.
Well, we'll see you. We'll see you next month. So.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, we'll all be. Buke kind of alluded to it, but we'll all be there at the, except for Jay. We'll all be there at the Metal Beer Fest.
Yep.
Yo, Jay, what's going on? You're fucking up, man.
He's in California.
I'm on the West Coast. They, though I am going to be out on the East Coast next week, and I will be seeing the boys and chemists in a couple of days. As a matter of fact,
that's awesome.
I have to. Someone of us has to cover the stories on the West Coast.
Yeah,
right.
Our West Coast correspondent.
The shows. Yeah.
So speaking of Arthur, he produced the album. I was curious, are you possibly guys working on a new album? And if so, are you going to work with Arthur?
Yeah, but Arthur's definitely talking to Arthur about having him on board to do some stuff. And we are currently in the middle of writing the next album. That's our main focus at the moment. So
cool. Just once I want somebody to say something like this, and I'm not picking on Arthur, but oh fuck no, we'll never work with that guy again.
Well,
but he sounds like Arthur was a nice guy.
Yeah,
he's awesome.
Yeah, he was really cool.
He's great. He's a good friend of mine. Arthur's also very busy.
Mm-hmm.
So
that was clear from us talking to him.
He's a very busy guy. So.
Now you didn't say a whole lot about the album thing, so I'm thinking that maybe that's under wraps, and maybe I'm speculating here. Are you in a position of not being able to talk about that very much right now?
Right now, we're just writing heavily for it. We're not really, nothing's really set in stone as far as when we're going to record it, with what, and with where and who. It's all kind of being worked out. So I just really can't say much just because we don't know.
That's cool.
Hey, let me ask you a question, Steve. This is John. So if you can't say much about the album, can you say anything possibly about future artwork? Because your album cover for the album, I think, is spectacular. I'm a big fan of the old 50s and 60s sci-fi covers of books, where just a single little image would tell a whole story. And I kind of think that same thing about your album cover. There's so much detail in there. You listen to the songs, you can almost see the songs and the detail in the album. You guys have plans for another kind of full, kind of historical looking album cover?
Well, as Brooks, our singer, actually does the artwork. He does all the artwork for us.
Right on.
Yeah, he's obviously an amazing artist, amazing painter. But he is currently he has this idea for the front cover. I'm still a little unclear what he's doing, but he is currently painting what will be. He wants to be the inside of a gatefold, which is fucking insane.
Yes, that's exactly the word I want to hear. Gatefold.
Okay, I got to ask you a question about the cover since we're talking about it. Mm-hmm. So, okay, there's a knight riding out of a cave or through a tunnel or something, and then there's these two figures on the side of the cave, and one of them looks suspiciously like Pazuzu from The Exorcist.
You got that too, Jay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I assume that's intentional?
Yeah, I would imagine. Very much so. I can't speak for Brooks and what he did with the concept, because he made the painting, but everything he does is very deliberate. So
okay, yeah, fair enough. I mean, it just zeroes right in on that, dude. It just so jumps out at me. But it is a killer cover. And John, you're right, it tells a great story. I mean, one you can make up in your head.
Well, so many bands seem to we talk about this when we talk about Bandcamp. You see these great covers, shitty album, and then you'll see shitty covers and shitty albums. But then you'll see a shitty cover with a great album, and you're like, you don't understand why they didn't put a little more into kind of presenting it to kind of catch you.
The worst is awesome cover shitty album. That always bums me out.
Yeah, it's the worst, dude. Yeah.
They hate it so much. Like when you get it and the logo's awesome, the artwork is just killer, and
you're like, man, here we go. Yeah.
And you put it on and you try so hard to love it just because everything else is there, and you're just like, fuck, man.
I'll tell you, hey Steve, I'll tell you when that happens to me. I'm a huge Travis Smith fan. I think all his stuff is awesome, and most of the bands like Opeth and Catatonia, those covers are great and the music's great. But I've seen a couple and I'm like, oh fuck, it's metalcore. God damn it.
Yeah, right away. Yeah.
Awesome cover.
Now it's not so bad. I mean, remember when we were kids and you bought a CD or a tape or an album based on the cover, and you couldn't preview it.
Yep.
Yes.
And then you suddenly you listen to it, you're like, oh man, this is terrible. I just wasted my money.
Yeah.
But more often than not, for me, as a kid, when I would do that, I'd be like, man, this looks cool. I don't know, I'm gonna buy it because it looks great. And then when you take it home and throw it on, it's the best shit ever. I miss that.
Yeah.
No, and in the 80s, you had a better chance. You were going to get a better album. I think what happened in the 80s too, though, was when you were like, a lot of us grew up in the 80s, as teenagers, you would pick out an album that was maybe from a really old band and the cover would trick you. And one that I brought up here previously, and we'll bring it up again. And I noticed it's in your Discogs, George, and it's a band Demon, and the album is called The Plague. It's got the greatest fucking cover ever, and it is not what it sounds like.
It's new wave of British heavy metal, which is very...
I don't even think it's new wave, dude. It's more like Status Quo or something, I mean, it's just like, yeah. And actually, the album is Night of the Demon. I'm going to send it to you guys.
So going back to Brooks for a second, so I read that he wasn't even a singer prior to joining Crypt Sermon. That's pretty amazing that he sounds like he does.
He never was saying rock, different rock singing. I mean, I'd heard him sing like kind of more bluegrass or country stuff and just like folky stuff on a guitar.
Wow, okay, well that makes sense then.
Yeah, I mean overall, but he expressed interest in wanting to try it. And when we were writing the first demo, we were just like, who are we gonna get to sing? Because Brooks, I just tapped him to play bass.
Yeah,
and we're like, I just looked at him one day. I was like, dude, why don't you just give it a shot? Like, why don't you try it? Like, I think it's like if you don't like it, like you don't have to do it. But I mean, give it a shot. We'll see what happens. Because right now our options are zero. So, and he was like, all right. He was definitely a little nervous about it. But then after the demo, we were all really pleased. And his growth from the demo to the album is huge. Like he's only getting better because he's still kind of starting out too. So
I did notice that because I picked up the demo recently and was listening to it, and I mean you can kind of tell it's a demo. The production is not quite the same, but you could tell that the vocals got exponentially better. It was great.
I think that's what sets you guys apart a little bit, because he doesn't have to screech, but he still can give you that kind of powerful singing. In a lot of doom bands today, I'm kind of on some of the singing, but with you guys, I kind of like that about him, that he has that range, but doesn't have to go that high to still get some powerful stuff out there. So
he reminds me a lot. What's the name? What's the Troubles singer? Is it Eric Wagner?
Eric Wagner?
Yeah. Sounds a lot like. Actually, I think Crypt Sermon sounds a lot like Trouble, and I say that as a compliment, like a very high compliment.
I wonder how many times we're going to hear Psalm 9 in the list that's coming up today. We shall find out.
I saw that. It's in. We'll talk about it.
Yeah. I was glad. It's nice to hear brought up. Yeah.
Jay, I can think of 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, maybe 5 or 6 of us, and one who won't have it.
It's funny you should mention that, though. We played with the Skull like twice, and Eric Wagner just drinks like liquor and smokes weed the entire time he plays, and he still sounds the same. It's amazing.
Wow.
He has a great time.
He's seasoned in more ways than one.
Yeah, it was cool. Like,
and the Skull is cool too. I like them.
Yeah, the Skull is good. That's awesome, dude. I mean, how's he looking? I don't see them. I mean, he's got to be he's our age, so he's old.
An older fella.
An older fella.
So, hey, Steve, are you drinking another Old Rasputin? Or you got something else lined up?
Old Rasputin at the moment. I just made the worst pour ever. It's so foamy. It's because I'm holding a phone, but hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm assuming you're not drinking because you never do, and you're going to go swim in the pool or something. So, John, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking, and I'll show you guys, and I'll tell everyone. It's a can version of AleSmith's Speedway Stout.
I had one of those the other day. $9 a can, but it was good.
Well, yeah, or you could pay the $18 for the big bottle, right?
Yeah.
It's a tall boy too, which is nice. I like to see stouts in a tall boy. So,
what do you got, George?
I've got the Duclaw Hop Hammer.
Oh, I don't think I know that one yet.
Yeah, I just picked it up yesterday. It's an IPA.
Jay's trying to show off now. He's like chugging apple juice.
It was apple juice. Yeah, that's Martinelli's Gold apple juice. It's
gonna mix it up and throw a little cherry in there soon.
Buke, what do you got? Anything?
Alpine Beer Company, Willy Vanilli.
Alpine stuff. They're out here. They have a couple of good things.
No, they have a lot of good things.
They have a lot of. I was gonna say they have a ton of good things.
Yeah,
do they brew their own beer, or do they take somebody else's beer and put their label on it?
I think they did contract brew at one of the other bigger.
No, they were contracting with Green Flash.
Yeah, that's it.
Because they didn't have the facilities, and Green Flash acquired them, but they kept the Alpine line on its own.
Totally over their head, George.
That was my Milli Vanilli joke.
Yeah, I got it. That's why we ignored it.
Yeah.
They were like, let's just walk past that.
Yeah. Keep moving.
Steve? I got the Lagunitas Hop Stupid. The Guide to Extreme Beers. And I got my new and improved Ponzi IPA coming up next from my own brewery, Atlas.
Right on. Steve, going back to the new material, are you guys going to be exploring any new directions with this? Are you taking, is it going to be more of the same? Not the same, but, same style?
Yeah, it's it'll have elements. It'll be a little bit more more of the same, but there's definitely we're definitely moving forward a little bit and exploring a little bit more. I mean, I can't really say much. You just have to wait to hear it.
Sure.
But you know what, Steve, you guys are kind of out there, not on your own, but I read, I'm sure some other guys read some of the similar interviews where you were talking about there aren't a lot of bands doing the traditional epic doom anymore. There's a few, but it seemed, and I know that was something you were brought up, that there's just way too many kind of sludgy, let's play as slow as we possibly can doom. And it's nice that you guys are out there. So it doesn't even matter how much you change it. You're still going to be kind of out there standing on your own a little bit. I mean,
in a good way.
In a good way, yeah. I mean, I can think of a band like Age of Taurus from England. They kind of have a similar sound like you guys, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. And regarding that, and I remember a few people were a little upset with me about what I said about that.
But you're spot on about that. There are just way too many bands doing the same exact thing right now.
Yeah,
the Sleep Electric Wizard thing.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's not to say that there aren't bands who do that thing really well either. It's not. I don't really listen to a lot of that stuff, but I will acknowledge that there are bands who are really good at doing it. It's just that there's so many of them, and it's just like, it's just everything's lost in a wash.
Mm-hmm. There's so many stoner and like retro 70s kind of doom bands out there. Yeah. When they first started coming out, I was very pleased, and now I can't listen to any of it. So but hearing some actual traditional doom, that was nice.
Yeah, and you know what else? You guys actually solo a little bit. I kind of dig that about the music. There's some nice technical solos in there that aren't kind of the traditional style of doom nowadays. So you guys
thank you.
Yeah, I read something about that. You're a guitar guy, I guess, right? And you like that. Yeah, okay. So just real quick, as a sidebar, who are some of your guys that you like that you listen to?
Well, when I got into playing guitar, it was through like Ozzy's old players. So it was Randy Rhoads, Jakey Lee, and like old school like Zakk Wylde. And then during my high school years, I fell like deep into like, the Shrapnel Records hell. It was like Jason Becker and Marty Friedman, Paul Gilbert. And those guys were like huge to me.
Speaking my language here, I like this.
Yeah, I was big into that. I spent so many hours in my bedroom just trying to play along to those records. But actually, the other day I just saw Uli John Roth, and that was just hands down just the most amazing.
All right, I gotta ask you. So you saw him live.
Yes.
Was it just like the most intense guitar sound you've ever heard in a live show where you couldn't hear the rest of the band playing?
No, I could hear everybody. It was crystal clear.
I saw him with one of our buddies we poke a little fun at once in a while, our friend TR. He and I saw him at the old Empire/Jack's in Northern Virginia. I literally could only hear him on stage. It was so freaking loud, and the rest of the band was just, they could have been doing nothing for all.
Well, he has like preamps built into that.
Yes.
Sky guitar, so it's loud as fuck. It's intense.
It just rips right through you.
Yeah, I mean, he's a force. Like, he's just I've never seen anything like it. The only guy I've seen at that age play like that is maybe Alan Holsworth. When I saw him. Yeah, I mean, there's, not to sound corny, but there's guys who are really good at guitar, and then there's artists, like real out there guys who just happen to play guitar.
Yeah.
You have, your Steve Vai, or you have your Uli John Roth, kind of the same sort of deal. But I got to, my buddy got us like these VIP meet and greet things, and I was shaking like a leaf. I was just like, I felt like such a fucking nerd. I was just standing like, oh my God, what am I going to say to this dude? Like, I showed up with no records for him to sign because I didn't know what kind of venue it was going to be, but it was like a theater where you could sit down, but you got like a poster out of the deal. I felt like such an asshole just like walking up like with nothing for him to sign except for this poster. So I like awkwardly.
Damn it! I should have brought all my old Scorpion albums.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no! I think what you do in that situation is just say, "Hi, can I just stare at you for a minute, dude?" I hope that's cool.
We talked shop and guitar, and he was crazy. It was like talking to this like old wise wizard, this guru. He was just
he sort of looks like that on stage.
He does. He talks exactly the way you would kind of expect him to. And he was very cool. Very it was a very cool experience.
Well, just saying, he was inspired by Hendrix, and also in the spiritual way. I mean, he talks like Jimmy used to talk. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's got the Hendrix thing, but we talked a little bit about that. The thing about him is when you listen to his playing compared to all like the other contemporary guys of his era, he's way more advanced. And
well, he moved on.
Way more. Yeah. But I mean, even in like Scorpions, like even on Sales of Sharon, nobody was playing rock guitar like that back then. That was like that was crazy shit.
Everybody talks about that one.
Yeah, I mean, at the time, it was more classically influenced. And then, of course, Yngwie came out a couple years later, and obviously Yngwie cites Uli Jon Roth very frequently as an influence. But
I believe Jay and I will be seeing him later this summer.
Who's that, Yngwie or Uli?
Uli.
Uli.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah, he's playing at Vakken.
Oh, wow.
Is he doing a Scorpion set?
I don't know. It didn't say. Just said he was on the lineup.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, when I saw him, he did the Scorpion set. It was cool.
Yeah, it was amazing. I had a blast.
So, speaking of, influences, are there any bands that influenced the entire style of Crypt Sermon? Anything that led you down that path?
Usual suspects for what you would expect for Out of the Garden. It was, Candlemass, Dio, Sabbath, and like Solitude Aeternus, a little bit of Trouble. It's pretty much who you would think it was with the influence of Out of the Garden. But think about Out of the Garden, it was kind of a learning curve for all of us because we'd never played so slow before. We've been playing fast bands, so it was more just like getting a handle on how to actually play the shit. And
I have to say, I find that amazing because listening back to, not listening back, but having listened to Out of the Garden for a couple years now, it's like you've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
So it's amazing that. So what you're saying is that nobody in Crypt Sermon at the time was actually playing that style of music?
Not really. I think James, the other guitar player, had a better just idea of how to play it. Because when we were writing together, it was just the two of us and we were just jamming, and he just had a better feel for it. He kind of kicked it off, and then I gradually learned how to do it and start writing my own songs. And that's kind of how we've been doing it. We'll write some songs together, and then I'll write a song. James will write a song. Like sometimes Brooks will even write a song or something like that at home. But it took practice but it's been fun. It's actually, it's more of a challenge now, I think, for all of us to play slower because it's a little more nuanced and it's not just a blur, it's not a wash. When you're playing fast, it's like if you fuck something up, well, I've been playing so fast the entire time, no one notices.
Yeah.
With this, it's a little more nuanced and it's been tricky. You have to be a lot more accurate and just sort of in the pocket.
And playing, and this, I'm not trying to be rude with this question, just as someone who doesn't play guitar. And this isn't, it's obviously you're having fun on stage, but this isn't boring for you to play on stage. Like it's
not at all.
Okay. It's hard for me to try and properly phrase the question. Like when I imagine, being a guitarist, you'd want to play the faster, the more enjoyable stuff. I always wonder, why would anybody want to be a drummer in a funeral doom band?
Right.
No, also, to be why would anybody want to be a drummer? We could just stop it there.
But no, it's really fun because it's just a little more open. You can just, I don't know, it's not like a cheese ball, but you can just rock a little bit more.
More soulful?
Yeah, it's just a little more open. The songs, you can pull back. It's a little more dynamic. And of course, there's solos, of course. Play guitar solos now and again. And really, in all honesty, it's about writing good songs, not who can play what and how fast and how many notes you're playing it.
Of course.
It's all
there
about
is a lot of
good songs.
Yeah, and you can let your guitar do some of the work. I mean, there's something very musical about just playing an A chord and letting it go. I mean, that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a time and place for everything, I think.
There you go.
I think the real question.
You're starting to sound like Uli Jon Roth.
Yeah. Hey, Steve, I think the real question from Buke there is do you really want to keep playing this boring Doom when you could be doing this really cool death metal project you just talked about killing a second ago?
Trench rot.
He's trying to point you that way.
Yeah, isn't this unsatisfying for you in some way? Don't you feel like you're wasting your life?
So, Steve, when you moved to Philly, I'm sure everyone, you felt the need to find a cheesesteak place.
Oh, here we go.
Did you find one? What's your one of choice?
Favorite? I don't even know.
We're going to need to know this when we're up there next month.
We don't hold punches on this show, Steve. We want to know the best cheesesteak right now.
Okay.
Oh, I know.
I'll give you. I'll point you in the right direction. If you're going to go to the two famous places, which is Pat's and Gino's, go to Pat's.
I wholeheartedly agree.
Gino's is gross even when you're drunk.
It's Gino's does like these thick slices. Where
to our listeners in South America or like Europe right now, they're like, cheesesteak?
Is a steak made of cheese?
No, I live out in West Philadelphia, so I'm kind of away from.
Yeah, how about a good hoagie shop?
I'm of no use to you.
All right.
You can see we're all healthy boys on this podcast. We like to eat.
My go-to when I go back to Philly to visit family, I definitely go to Jim's on South Street. That's my go-to.
Jim's, Jim's is great as far as cheesesteaks. I'm not too entirely picky, but Jim's was always my favorite when I was anywhere else. But I was just saying for the sake of brevity, if you were going to famous spots, it'd be Pat's.
Yeah,
that's over by the TLA, right, Jim's?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the TLA is off South Street.
I may have been there a few times post TLA.
You just don't remember.
Yeah. Oh, I remember. Trust me, I lived up there for 2 years, so I remember.
We are all going to be also up in Philly for the OPEF Mastodon big little festival thing for the day. So.
Oh, cool! Yeah, I'll be there.
Oh, well then, fuck Steve.
Yeah,
we're definitely hanging out with you then.
Well, Steve, are you going to the Decibel Tour Obituary Creator at TLA? I think it's at TLA.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's a killer package, but also like Horrendous, where they're super good friends of ours. And actually, the guitarist of Horrendous is currently playing bass in Crypt Sermon. So
yeah, and I what was the other connection?
God,
not the connection, but Blood Feast. You remember Blood Feast? They're opening up that show.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
You know what's going to happen? One time we're going to have a guest on here, guys, and it's going to be some bad love triangle thing. That's going to be some dirty laundry being aired. We keep getting all these guys who run in the same circles and stuff.
Yeah, the key is, though, Buke, is to get them all on one podcast after another to see if somebody slips.
So tell us, why is Arthur a jerk?
No, he's cool, man. He's cool.
Yeah, no.
Hey, Steve, playing
Jay's like,
this
who?
from your standpoint, playing this more traditional Doom stuff that's been around with the likes of Candlemass and bands like that, do you really rack your brain trying to come up with a unique sound, or is there like a traditional Doom sound that you kind of stick with?
Right now, it's kind of, for better or for worse, been the former. I have been. I mean, when I'm writing, I try to push a little bit just to try not to sound too derivative, and that's the way it's been going lately. And there was a while there where I think I was just trying a little too hard. It's been a little more natural lately because I think I've sort of hit a stride. But I mean, as far as Out of the Garden, it was much more. It wasn't as planned. I don't think.
Buke, Tony Iommi already wrote all the riffs. We're just living in his world.
Yeah, you just got to rearrange them as much as you can.
Does it bother you? Because again, somebody not in a band. When any band gets anything, the first thing that people do is they compare it to other bands.
Yeah, but that's just to be helpful to people.
I guess this. So it doesn't bother you when, hey, Steve, people say, yeah, what does Crypt serve? They sound like whoever. It doesn't bother you when.
Yes and no. Like you said, like I understand like the purpose of it, and it's very clear, especially with what we do. We wore our influences on our sleeves, but I do think it's bullshit when people are just like, oh yeah, this band, all these bands just sound like other bands and blah blah. So I'm so jaded, and it's just like, well, asshole, then you pick up a guitar and start a fucking band. Then
that's just people being lazy because they don't know what to say.
That's what.
I mean, it's just because somebody trod on the path doesn't mean anybody should never walk down it again. And it's not even tribute stuff, I mean, you guys, I hear the Dio quality in your music, I really do. Yeah. But there's nothing about it that makes just things go, well, I'll just go listen to a Dio record. You know what I mean?
Right.
I love that stuff, and if that's true, every band is just a derivative of the Beatles or the Rolling Stones. I mean, fuck that, dude. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, I mean, it's like saying this band isn't as good as Iron Maiden. It's like, well, I mean,
who is?
Yeah, why don't you? Because, you must just not listen to anything ever.
But yeah, just Iron Maiden. Yeah.
Because I don't know what you read online or in magazines and stuff, but every time you read a review or something, hey, another Candlemass reference is going to come up, or another blah 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 reference is going to come up.
Yeah,
it's like, oh god, here we go again.
Here's
but you know what? There will be Crypt sermon references for what it's worth. I'm sure I've read at least one Doom review where they were like, it's Crypt sermon-y. You know what I mean? Like, which you should take with pride, by the way.
It's the nature of the beast.
Thank you.
Until you've been around long enough to become the institution, you're going to be compared to things that are currently the institution.
And I mean, I get it. Like, I mean, it's fair to make those comparisons, but I think at the same time, a lot of like people, they just get the promo and they're like, oh, yeah, right. Candlemass, Dio Sabbath, right. Sounds just like that. It's like, oh, okay, that was kind of a lazy write-up, but
that was it.
Yeah,
I'm convinced those people don't listen to the whole record either, by the way.
Well, and as someone who gets like a dozen promos a day in my email box, I do spend very little time on an album before deciding to move on. I'm like, you got to impress me in like like 30 seconds with something, or I'm moving on. And I have frequently, admitted that I have passed on things that turned out to be awesome just because the volume is such. But I would not do a review of something without having actually listened to it and think I knew what I was talking about.
And
have
we
you guys
did not
actually
pass on Crypt Sermon, by the way.
Oh,
that was one that caught on.
I won't stray from the course too much, just while it's on my mind, and I don't want to open this can of worms too much, but I think a lot of the problems with a lot of journalists, I put in quotes,
fake
is
news,
that they listen to things for how they want it to be rather than they listen to things for what they are.
Yeah.
Or they don't, you know what I mean? But they don't listen to things for what they are. And when I was younger and I read I was getting into metal, and some of the reviewers and Metal Maniacs would be like, well, this isn't really for me, but if you like this or you like that, you'll probably enjoy it. There's not a lot of that anymore. Usually there's just, I don't know. I find the reviews, I don't know. You should probably cut this out.
No, this is good.
Dude,
I'll sum it up for you a little bit in that I've said this before on our pod, which is there's many a record I've bought based on a negative review, and I was like, oh yeah, that sounds right up my alley, dude. You know what I mean? Fuck, dude. I mean, it's just how it is. But I agree with you. Reviews should not be, here's what they should have done. This is the product. You've been given it. Listen to it, like it or don't. We don't need your pointers. You know what I mean?
To be honest, go ahead.
So,
I was just going to say, I mean, there's things where it's just like, okay, this fucking sucks, and there's no way around it. Like, I remember one of the things Jeff Wagner said in Metal Maniacs when I was reading one of the demo reviews for a band. He just said, did I just take a bite into a giant shit sandwich? And I'm just like,
Jeez.
It was just like, and he was usually, I mean, he had teeth, but he had his taste, but it was very much just like, okay, well, this may not be my thing, but if you're into this sort of thing, you might like it.
See, I would have automatically assumed that was a new Spinal Tap album, and I would have bought it regardless.
Where did they print that? They can't print that.
Steve, question for you: Has Out of the Garden gotten a bad review?
I don't recall seeing anything that was too insanely negative. It's gotten lukewarm reviews and unfavorable reviews, but I don't think nobody's trashed it that I can recall. I don't know. I was reading the reviews as the album was coming out, and I haven't read anything lately. But the truth of the matter is, it's just I really should try to avoid reading reviews in general. But I'm only human.
Yeah.
I want to know. I want to know what people think of something I worked hard on, and that's just human. So
kind of looping back to what we were saying earlier about it's not my cup of tea and stuff. As a brewer, I look at reviews of the beers that I've made, and it always drives me nuts when somebody will totally shit on a beer that I made, and in the end they're like, but I don't like smoked beers anyway, or I don't like hoppy beers anyway. I'm like, well, then don't fucking review it. Let someone else do it.
Well, I was just gonna say that I don't think anyone cares about a negative review if there's some well thought out process to the.
Yeah. The only negative I have seen is somebody's like, can the guitarist grow his hair? That bald headed asshole. No, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
Bald.
Yeah, actually, his beard's not long enough. That's the problem.
That's why you're in a doom band, Steve, because you rock the shaved head. If you were in a heavier band, you'd have to headbang.
I mean, once upon a time, I had hair halfway down my back. Yeah. Fortunately,
that goes all the way around here. Join the club.
Don't make a bold statement like that, because you see our own George here. At one time, George did have long hair. Now he's about hefty.
And what?
Now he's bald and a little big. So
you're rocking the Grand Mag.
I think we all had long hair at one point, didn't we?
Yeah.
Oh, I did. Yeah,
I did.
You're rocking the Grand Magus look. Magus. How the fuck do you say that? I never can remember.
Magus.
Thank you. The Grand Magus look.
Stick.
Yeah, everyone's just like, dude, you should do the Niflheim brothers or like Dio. I was like, I would just look more like Gallagher, and that's not a look I'm willing to
Klaus
embrace.
Meine look, or you could do Klaus Meine or Brian Jansson. Just get a fucking patty cap and let it come out the sides.
Hey, Steve, and there's only one Devin Townsend from the early 2000s, right?
Oh God,
Forgot about that.
Oh, that was a rough look.
All right.
He looked like the Crypt Keeper. Really, is what he looked like, didn't he?
Or John Travolta from Battlefield Earth.
Oh, God.
Hey, Steve, if there was, real quick, one last question. If there was one track that you could say to recommend somebody to check out of the Garden, what would you say, hey, start with this track?
For a starting point, I don't know. I think Byzantium's a good starting point.
Nice.
Track 3.
Yeah, I think that's a probably. I think that's a good single, I guess, so to speak. It's pretty simple. It's slow. It's to the point, but it's very big. It's just kind of majestic.
I almost wanted to have a section on the script today about songs stuck in your head, because we did that a couple years ago. And one of the songs that's definitely stuck in my head is Byzantium, because just the way he belts out that Byzantium, like it's like it very much sticks in your head. That's great.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite songs. So that's one of my favorite Crypt Sermon songs. It's also one of my favorite ones to play live.
Yeah. Now, moving forward, I have to say, if you guys do tap Arthur again, do not go longer than, what did he say, about 45 minutes or so?
37 minutes, I think it was.
He said 30.
No, it was 37.
He's sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I did look this up, and Out of the Garden was a little over 42 minutes.
Perfect. Love it.
Yeah.
And in hell.
That was actually pretty deliberate. We had another track that we, from our demo, a song called Belly of the Whale, that we recorded for the album, but it didn't flow right with the rest of the record. It wasn't as strong of a song, and it just sort of seemed out of place. But also, if we were to go anything over 42 minutes, we would have been double LP territory.
Yeah.
So we didn't want to do that for our first record.
I think that was one of Arthur's soapboxes.
Yeah. He was like, if it goes over 37 minutes, I'm walking.
I mean, I can agree with that to an extent too. The thing about it is, like, a record can be an hour long, but I don't want to feel like it's an hour long.
Mm-hmm.
I have to be engaged, and there's.
Did you listen to the Vector album last year?
Which feels like 4 hours.
Oh yeah,
I love that album. Yeah. We all do, but some of these guys say it's too long.
Have you made your way all the way through it in one listen, Buke?
Yeah.
Yes.
He's just on. Yeah? All right.
He's just on the first one time. But I will admit, the one time I did it was an all-day hunting trip during the second day of gun season.
Okay, fair.
So I was in the woods for 10 hours anyway.
Hey Jay, he's on LP1 right now.
I mean, dude.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that I think the record's awesome, and also they're good friends of mine. Actually, I did a fill-in on a tour with them.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's a shame that they freaking broke up.
Yeah. Do you know what happened there with everybody except the main guy?
The scoop?
I mean, I know a side of the story, but
not at liberty
leave it at that.
Wait, is that the dude from Ghost? Haven't they just ditched their third version of the band for a whole new version of the band?
Yeah, I read something about that.
Steve, when you guys aren't in the studio practicing, we've heard talk the past year of some big bands disbanding, breaking up, bands like Vector, Agalok. How do you guys as a band maintain a friendship to where it doesn't get to the point where internal strife starts and you guys are breaking up?
Well, I mean, the thing about Crypt Sermon is we're not a band that is able to go out on the road for 6 months at a time, 6 to 3 months at a time. We take this very seriously, and we take music very seriously. We're big music fans, but for us, it's just getting together, making killer songs, and then we're all very busy. We all do our different thing, but we do hang out too. But we're not locked in a bus with each other for months at a time either.
Sure.
So it's more or less like we're just friends getting together, like playing
periodically.
Songs. Yeah. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny? And that's just truth that success can ruin a band. I mean, that is one of the things that happens with success is this suddenly these guys that you tolerate quite well, you have nobody else but those guys.
That's the thing. Like it's it's embarrassing and it sucks, and because I worship these guys in their prime, but something like Metallica movie, for example, everyone's like, oh man, these guys are such divas. It's like, well, I mean, sure, maybe, but they fucking have been literally in a band and on the road since they were teenagers. They grew up in that band. They grew up in a very different place than normal people do.
Yeah. A dysfunctional place, dude.
Yeah.
Because they're also surrounded constantly by people telling them how much they love them and so on and so forth. I mean, how fucked up must that be?
Hey, but in defense of Metallica, though, after all that, where people called them divas, they still banded together to get rid of that psychiatrist, and he wanted to go on tour with them. They're like, we're done with this fucking guy.
And then they went on to make a bunch of crappy albums. So God bless them. Sure. Sorry, George.
If we took the podcast on the road for even 3 months, we would implode in no time.
What do you mean 3 months? We barely made it through Death Fest.
I know.
Yeah. It's true. I'm going to be there next week, and I'm like, God, I'm there 4 days. Is that too long? Are we going to kill each other? What's going to happen?
We already have a basis for it. John's knee would be the reason why that we fucking would start the littlest fight.
somebody'd bump into him and he'd be like, "Fuck you!"
Oh, believe me, I saw what happened when you bump into John's knee.
Oh, dude, that guy deserved that, man. That fucking douche.
Steve, do you and James do most of the writing for the album and the upcoming album?
It's mostly us. I mean, as far as like smoothing and ironing things out, we do a lot of that together. But it's James and I are the primary songwriters in the band. But I mean, I'd say that everybody helps sort of smoothen it out when we play together.
Okay. And who does the lyrics?
Brooks does all the lyrics.
Okay.
And Brooks does Brooks wrote Masters Pay. That was like that was one of the songs he wrote actually very last minute. Will the Ancient Call and Masters UK were written super last minute before we went to record that album. And they're two of the better songs on the album. It was awesome.
What was the impetus to do some of the biblical references for all the lyrics? Because I find it fascinating. I think it's great.
Brooks, that's Brooks. I think as far as like the conceptual and like artistic image, like Brooks, we just sort of let him do his thing. Because I mean, I'm sure as hell not writing lyrics. He went to Catholic school, I think, when he was a kid in North Carolina, if I remember correctly. That's what he told me.
So sorry to hear that.
Yeah. I mean, so he's so he has some
a few more
things to
records
say.
to work through those issues. Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm.
And it also just it adds the aesthetic. I think it's just very it goes well sonically with what we do.
Dude, the Bible and the Lord of the Rings are not that far removed. You know what I mean?
And you know what? We're all just getting tired of hearing whiny fucking lyrics about how somebody's life sucks. I'd rather hear about some crusaders just slaying their way through the world. Personally,
Troublesome name comes to mind.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, I'll drop that. I'm going to keep bringing that up until all of us say it.
So is that going to be the same direction for the new album coming up, like sort of like the biblical sort of ancient lyrics?
Yeah, it's going to be there, but this album is going to be a little darker in the lyrical content. I think.
Cool. So we're getting we're getting to the later parts of the Bible then.
Yeah, I was going to say, so you're going to really follow the Bible more truly then.
So we're moving past the Acts of the Apostles then.
Yeah, it's a little more bleak, I'd say, conceptually.
Awesome.
Well, yeah, I work at a library, and occasionally somebody will actually check a Bible out. It's always hard for me to not say something like, "This has got a real surprise ending, dude." It takes a real dark turn. You're gonna be.
It's a real revelation.
Oh, sorry. Did you find that in the fiction section?
Don't get attached to any of these characters except for like two.
George R.R. Martin could have written it.
No, he wouldn't, because he's still working on the other 4,000 books he's got to finish.
That's never going to end.
It's never going to end.
Well, the TV series is going to
Boy,
end.
Big surprise for everyone. Game of Thrones just stops because there's no more books.
Yeah, sure. Well, George is right. The show will come to a conclusion before the book does.
Yeah, wait, nobody's dead yet.
All right, before we get into the news, I've got a couple of little tidbits to pass on. Very self-indulgent stuff, so bear with me. The first thing, and John's probably already smiling because he's been keeping up with this. In fact, he brought this up to me, that one of our listeners, our friend Greg, his Bandcamp collection, apparently I was creeping up on the same number of items in my collection as he had, and he's like, "You got to pass him."
Well, and for the record, Greg's got a shitload of purchases on Bandcamp.
Yeah,
he's like well over 600 albums. So.
Yeah,
wow.
And I was like 8 behind him at that point, and when he pointed this out to me, so I had to go on a mad spending binge to pass him, just to be like, I have more.
Yeah, it's like, fuck this, man. You got to pass it. We can't put up with that shit.
Yeah. So the glove has been thrown, Greg. What are you going to do about it?
Greg's
So
going to go and buy like
Wait.
50 new albums next week.
Yeah.
So is his all metal and yours is half synthwave and half metal?
Dungeon Wave.
I have a well-rounded collection. Thank you.
Oh, you are what you listen to.
Exactly. Hey, ooh.
I was wondering. I thought Will's just walking right by him these days, but no, he caught that.
Yeah. Also, I was going to give a battle vest update, Steve. I've been building a new battle vest in honor of Jay and I going to Vakken this year, and the sleeves have finally been cut off, and the front is all the patches were glued on and sewn on. I have glued all the patches on the back. I'm waiting to start sewing those on. It is turning out well.
Are you going to wear a t-shirt underneath this battle vest?
Depends on the time of year.
He's going to be bulletproof. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I was telling Jay, I tried it on this morning, and there's so many many goddamn patches on this thing. It feels like Kevlar. Not that I know what Kevlar feels like, but I could imagine.
I could tell you what it feels like.
It's probably a lot heavier than this vest, I'm sure. But anyway, so I'm hoping to have this ready that I'll actually be able to wear it at Decibel. And one final thing before we get into the news. I picked up Decibel's Top 100 Metal Tours magazine recently, and I was like, I want to know, where do I rate? Out of the top 100 metal tours, how many have I seen? Well, I completely fail. I have only seen 2 out of the 100 best tours.
Which tour are those?
The Injustice for All tour and the Motorhead Dio Iron Maiden tour.
Oh, yeah, that was a good tour. I was at that one, so I got one.
To be fair, most of the tours on there are like Mayhem and like all these like obscure black metal shows that you had to be in, Scandinavia to see.
Right. Well, number 1 was Ultimate Revenge, right? I think that's what it was. That number 1?
Sounds like it. Sounds right, yeah.
I still regret to this day, when I saw Venom Incorporated not long ago, and they were great, by the way, and I wanted to ask them why on the Ultimate Revenge video is the other stuff from New York, but the Venom footage is from Britain, and I always wondered if it was because they got too drunk at that show or something, and when they taped it, I really wish I had asked them that.
All right.
Probably more than likely.
Probably. I mean, if you've seen the video, they have video of them being interviewed, and they're drinking a whole bottle of Jack Daniels, and I figured they just went out and just blew it that night, probably.
Yeah, I mean, when I watched, I went to see Venom Inc. too. Abaddon crushed a 5th Jack during the set. It was pretty impressive.
Whoa.
Did you think it was a great show too? Did you enjoy seeing them?
It was awesome. I mean, it felt way more. I enjoyed them way more than
Cronus Venom.
Yeah, Cronus Venom. I thought it just felt more like Venom to me. It was
Tony Dolan
is kind of loose, rude. Yeah, just felt more authentic. It was awesome.
Tony Dolan fits really well, and they are making a record right now, by the way, too. They got signed to Nuclear Blast or something. Right. So looking forward to that.
My 2 cents is when I did the Decibel collaboration down in Champion, I saw Albert and he's like insistent, like texting me like, "Hey man, what's your address? I gotta send you that 100 tours out." Never got it yet.
Yeah.
So Albert, if you're listening, fuck you, man. Where's my magazine?
All right, we're gonna move on into the news. First up, I almost forgot this was coming up, but Record Store Day is around the corner, and I looked at the list, and I didn't really see much of anything that really made me want to run out and deal with the crowds. I know John's got one that he's looking forward to.
Yeah, I was just interested. Enslaved has a live album coming out that they're going to put out, 2,500 total worldwide in different colors for different parts of the world.
Yeah.
Live at Roadburn.
I meant to ask
the only one that caught my eye, too.
I meant to ask you, Steve, do you collect vinyl?
I do buy records very frequently. I don't like not to sound pretentious, I don't like to say collect. That makes it seem like I don't listen to them. But,
fair enough.
Yeah.
Do you buy vinyl?
I do.
Okay.
There's another one, George, too, which I'm vaguely interested in. If it gets left behind, I won't go looking for it. But the Black Crowes did that thing with Jimmy Page.
Oh, right. I did see that.
And they're releasing an unreleased show from Jonestown, Virginia, or some fucked up place. I don't know. Mm-hmm. And it's a 10-inch record, though, so I don't know what's on it or anything like that. Yeah, but something from the archive.
Well, I guess we'll see. What I am looking forward to is the news that Iron Maiden is going to be reissuing their albums from 1990 to 2015 on vinyl this summer. So I will finally get Brave New World.
And I knew the minute I paid too much for it on Discogs or the Record Store Day version that it was going to come out. I just fucking knew it.
So can I just go ahead? I'm 30 years old. Brave New World, that was my first Iron Maiden album. My mom gave it to me for my birthday, 1999, when it came out. And I still think it's one of their best albums. I think it holds up with all the classic records. I off-that it very easily for me.
Nobody here will disagree with you, dude. We all think it's an exemplary record.
Ghost of the Navigator. Come on.
It's in line between love and hate.
Hey, Steve, to put it in perspective, your first album you held was Brave New World. Mine would have been Made in Japan. That's how old I am.
Yeah, and mine was Number of the Beast.
Mine was Power Slave.
Yeah.
But it's cool. Like, anyway, go ahead.
No, seriously, go.
I was just gonna say it. That album came out at a good time for me because I was still getting into a lot of stuff. Yeah. Iron Maiden was releasing this new album. I was like, I've heard cool things about Iron Maiden. I got it. It was just it's such a killer album. It holds up with all their classic stuff. I think it just came out at a perfect time for me to get in band.
How old were you when it came out? Were you a teenager?
I was, how old it was. So it was 1999. I was born in 86. So
13. Jesus. years.
Yep, I was 13.
Wow.
So
Having lived through it, I can tell you this. That is to say, I was around, as were these fellas, when the other ones came out. Maybe with the exception of Buke, but it's in the top 5, easy top 5, and I mean, and that's putting it up against all the other good ones, and it might be top 3.
And here's the thing. Also, I think we can all speak for this too. Is that this was the return of Bruce?
Yep.
And this was the return of Adrian, and it kicked ass on top of that. I mean, it wasn't just that we all liked it because those guys were back. It was badass with those guys back. You know,
We did a list not long after I joined the pod of top 3 reunion records, and I'm fairly certain it was on everybody's list.
It's such an awesome record. I just had this conversation with my friend like days ago about how fucking awesome that record is.
Yep. Cool. Well, as I say, no detractors here, dude. We all completely agree with you.
Did any of the older gens on the podcast happen to catch the pay-per-view of Bruce's last show with Iron Maiden before he left the band?
Of course.
Yeah, me and my
The
roommates
horror
chipped
thing.
in and got that. No, yeah, how they like impaled him at the end and just left him hanging there on stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
They
a
didn't all-
magic thing.
What's that?
Yeah.
With the Simon Drake's magic. So I had the VHS
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. So I gotta ask, they're re-releasing all these albums on vinyl. Is anybody gonna pick up the Blaze albums?
I'm only picking up one,
Which one?
and it's the one we're talking about. That's it.
He's picking the only one he's picking up
Yeah,
of the
just-
reissues is Brave New World.
Brave New
Brave
World.
New World. That's it. Yeah.
And no, I guess is the answer to that question, George. There was one song I liked from that era. It was called "Blood on the World's Hands." I thought it was a pretty good song, but there's no reason to own those
So
records.
what about like,
Definitely.
Fear of the Dark? You know, I'm gonna get that, and No
won't.
Prayer for the
I actually
Dying. I'll
won't.
get that.
I
So,
won't.
so Jay, you didn't like the Klansman with Bruce singing in Rio?
Dude,
Yeah, I
I mean,
actually.
it's cool. It's all right. I mean, I don't know. I just, you know what? When the Blaze era was happening, I hate to say it, but I was like emotionally divided. I was listening to those Bruce records at that time.
Well, that's the problem right there.
Yeah,
Because
they were so
those Bruce
good.
records were awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, Greg was trying to get me into, I think it was at the X Factor recently. He's like, dude, you got to go back and listen to this. And I did, and I was like, I just
can't do
can't.
it,
I just can't do it.
I've tried so hard to love that album. I've listened to it like 10 times. I'm like, I'll have these phases like I'm gonna be super into X Factor now, and I'll put it on and I'll listen to it. And you know, the thing is, like, Iron Maiden at their worst still better than a lot of like the trad metal that people are blowing at their best. But it's just it lacks the sort of hunger and drive in it. The album doesn't really like how to explain it, but there's not a lot of cliffs and valleys. It's just sort of monotone throughout the whole
I'll buy
thing.
that.
And
Part of me, I thought it was the production the production fell off big time. It
Was that
seemed
when
like to
Kevin
me.
Shirley came around? Was that, I don't know when Kevin Shirley started with them, but I had the exact same experience. Try to make myself like those records and just couldn't do it. You know, just never caught on with me.
Yeah. Sorry, Greg.
Speaking of classic British bands, though, I've been meaning to tell Steve I very much admired a vest he was wearing in some Crypt sermon picture where he's got the nice Saxon badge.
I
I'm a big
noticed that
Saxon
too.
fan. Yeah.
I was just thinking last night because I saw that picture. I was like, man, I should have gotten one of those for my vest.
I'm a huge fan. Are there any eras you like of them particularly, Steve?
I'm particularly the first couple albums up to probably Power and the Glory.
Power and the Glory, yeah.
Up to that.
Jay,
Like,
did they
Strong
deviate
Arm-
that much?
Well, I mean, I agree with Steve. It's like this great climb of good songwriting and heavier sounding, amps and things. Like they got more modern sounding amps all the way up to Power and the Glory. And then no, they didn't deviate that much. They made like maybe 2 bad records, and ever since then, they've been back on track. A couple of the modern ones are actually quite good, like Lionheart and Killing Ground and so on and so forth, which was just released on vinyl again. So
I saw them at Prague Power a couple of years ago, and they were great.
Yeah,
they
they're great, yeah.
they crushed it. It was a good show.
I always think they should be mentioned in the same breath with Maiden and Priest. They were the big 3 from Britain, as far as I'm concerned. But Saxon just didn't catch on in America.
Hey, speaking of patches, I forgot to kiss Steve's ass a little. I did actually order a Crypt Sermon patch last week.
Good man.
I've got a few more spots on the vest. I'm going to put it on there.
It's not in the front, right there in the middle.
If I had gotten it earlier, but it's anyway. So they just announced that Megadeth is going to be doing a tour opening for the Scorpions. I thought that was kind of weird. First of all, because Megadeth tends to headline these days, and opening for the Scorpions, that just seems a little. It seems cool. I mean, I'd love to see that.
I thought the Scorpions were done.
Yeah, they keep
They
retiring.
went back on that. Yeah.
But they
changed
did
their minds.
when they did their farewell tour, which I went to. They were amazing, and the crowds were amazing. And from what I heard, they were so impressed by the response that they decided to keep going.
Cool.
Yeah, basically. Scorpions doesn't get mentioned on this pod enough for some reason. I don't know why, because they're really great, at least up till maybe Love at First Sting and slightly before that. But
Even Savage and
that's
amusement is good, in my opinion.
Yeah, but I think they are a band for Dave that like AC/DC was. Like if they're going to call, because I know he's a big AC/DC fan. If they call and say "Open for You" is like one of his dreams, you know. So that's why that happened, I'm sure.
Well, for me, I've never seen either of those bands, and I obviously Megadeth was a gateway band. I love Megadeth, but their older albums, and Scorpions. I love Scorpions. I think that's a really killer first gig for each of them for me. So there's no reason I should miss.
Yeah.
Klaus still sounds amazing vocally.
He does. Yeah, he doesn't sound bad at all.
Yeah.
I got a trivia question for you, actually, since we're talking about Klaus. He had a voice problem, vocal nodes, when they were making Blackout. I mean, it's kind of famous if you remember it. And he had vocal surgery. And there was somebody, God damn it, fuck you, man. I didn't even let me ask the question. That was well done, sir.
Sorry, what was the question? What was the answer?
The question was somebody who I think sang some background vocals on it, and they had approached him to be the replacement singer in the Scorpions. And Steve jumped right on it. If you didn't hear it.
What was the answer?
Did you hear it, George?
No.
Okay, good.
It was just too quick.
But you don't know the answer?
No.
It's a weird answer. Tell him, Steve.
Don Dokken was recruited to sing on Blackout.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that crazy? He's thanked on the album, too. I just got a reissue of that, and he's in the liner notes.
Interesting.
Yeah, didn't they destroy? I don't think he had a few like vocal tracks. I don't think they survived though. I think they got rid of them, didn't they?
Yeah, I've never seen him anywhere, and in this internet world, they probably would be out. But he did. If I remember correctly, he did sing some backup vocals on the record, so that is there. His voice is on there somewhere. It's just mixed in with everybody else saying "Can't live without you." You know.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Wow. So Jay, you're saying we might not have had all the Don Dokken and George Lynch fights for the next 30 years?
It would have been him and Mathis Jabs going at it, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I had my hands around his neck.
So some good news. I Hate God has announced some shows with Mike Williams, who has apparently recovered sufficiently from his surgery to get back with the band again. That's great news.
That's awesome.
It's just good for him.
Yeah, that's awesome.
When I went out with Vector, it was with an interesting lineup. It was Vector, I Hate God, and Iron Reagan.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I Hate God guys. I mean, everybody was really cool. Mike Williams was such a dude. So
Cool.
it's good to hear that he's doing well.
Yeah, I was really worried.
What was his? I honestly don't know what his issues were, George.
He was having
He
liver
had
failure.
diverticulitis.
Still don't know what they were.
Yeah,
No,
That is the biggest word you've ever said.
And he walked right
He
through
actually
it.
had a failing liver.
Yes.
Liver cirrhosis.
Oh yeah, that's
And
right.
he had a transplant, and it made me really proud of the metal community, because it was, they didn't have the money to do this, and obviously most musicians don't have insurance, and so they did a GoFundMe or something along some sort of Kickstarter type project, and myself and many other fans kicked in a bunch of money, and he got to have the surgery, and he's still here. So that's great.
That's awesome.
Guys bought him a fucking liver. That's
Yeah.
nice.
The liver's the only organ in the body that can regenerate.
Is that
It's
right?
fun that Mike,
Yes.
I remember there's, so the last night of that tour, Dave Vector got like brutal food poisoning. He got really sick, thrown up, and we had to cancel last minute. And I remember Mike coming up, he's like, oh man, he's throwing up. He's not feeling good. He's like, oh, that sucks, man. And then somebody shouts, he was like, Mike, you throw up every fucking day. And he was like, I'm a fucking alcoholic.
There you go.
No, but being around, Mike, I wonder if we all hear of before artists going crazy drinking. You wonder if what Mike was doing to put himself in this position. Was it a bottle of Jack pre-show and after show?
I mean, I can speak for him. He was, every time I saw him, he was drinking water. So I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I won't speak for for the guy. I don't know, but he was a super cool dude, and I'm just glad he's okay.
Yeah, good to hear him getting on the mend.
Exactly.
Glad to hear he's on the mend. Yeah.
Yep, glad to hear him on the mend.
So I saw that there's a new documentary coming out from Banger Films, one of my favorite film companies, called Welcome to Wacken, and it's a virtual reality documentary at Wacken. And as someone that's going to Wacken this year, I would really like to see this, because I think that would be really cool. So far, though, it's only going to be in like some theaters.
It was premiering at some festival or something.
That's what I meant. It's a festival, yeah.
So it's got to be something that'll be available online, especially since it's like a virtual reality thing. I got to believe we're going to get access to it at some point.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to get into a slew of like upcoming album releases now. November's Doom is releasing their new album, Harmaria, if you don't know how to pronounce that, on April 14th, and they released a lyric video for the song Zephyr. Did anybody else hear this?
I've checked out both songs off the album. Sounds like November's Doom.
Yeah,
That'd be cool.
you took the words right out of my mouth. That sounds like November's Doom.
Here's the thing. I mean, they're very good at what they do, and I expect it'll be just as good as all the other albums. And I know Buke will attest this. One of the cooler guys I've met in metal was Larry Roberts when we hung out with him for a little bit at Death Fest.
Yep.
Very cool guy.
Yeah, so
And
I'm
you
looking.
You guys
Go ahead,
actually
Will.
watched the video? There's a couple nuances in there that were pretty cool.
Yeah, the whole thing with he's writing the lyrics and he tear the page up and throw it away and write more lyrics.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you notice that that the female hands came in whenever there was clean singing, and right before the hard singing came back in, he'd take a shot of the whiskey.
I didn't
You guys notice that?
You know, it's really funny. I don't know how many of you have seen. Maybe George or Jay can give the song, but there's a Bob Dylan video where he holds the cue cards during the video with the lyrics on them,
Yeah,
and he throws
subterranean homesick
right.
blues.
It's just so funny. Since he's done it, it seems like everyone's tried to kind of deviate just a little bit more from that idea of that, and it works every time.
In excess
It
did
does.
that too.
Yeah, people do it every once in a while. It comes up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this next one, John and I have a particular interest in this one.
Hell yeah.
Fate's Warning is going to release live Awaken the Guardian album next month, and one of the two shows is the one that John and I were at Frog Power last September.
It's pretty cool what they're doing because we're getting both shows at least on CD and then one show on vinyl. The one from I believe Germany, if I'm not
Yeah, was
mistaken.
that like Keep It True or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, one of them on DVD too. One of them's coming out on DVD.
So
Oh, they're both coming out on the DVD.
Are they? Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So it's just
Yeah.
very cool that they're giving the fans that, it's not going to happen ever again. So
Yeah, I've already pre-ordered mine.
hell yeah, so did I.
And another one that I wasn't surprised to see, but I was glad to see. Danzig is going to be releasing a new album finally called Black Laden Crown, which is a cool name, and that's coming out in mid-May. So I'm hoping it's his time to come back because the
Let's
last
hope it's
album
produced.
last album was not so bad, but before that he had a string of crap. So
You mean the covers one?
Yeah, I was going to say, you're not talking about the
That
covers,
covers,
right?
no,
It
the
was
dead,
horrible.
like Red Dead Redemption
Dead
or whatever it was. Dead
But I
Red
agree with you.
Sabbath.
That wasn't a bad record. It's produced pretty poorly, but it's not a bad record.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a step in the right direction. So I'm hoping that, although granted that covers album was,
It's pretty gross. Yeah.
I mean, he just sounded like he was like a drunk first-time karaoke singer on that. It was bad.
Well, it sounded like he recorded it in his fucking garage too. You know what I mean?
I am holding out hope.
It also means there was no Misfits record coming, but whatever.
Yeah. Maybe there'll be more Misfits shows. It sounded like something that was going to happen.
It did sound like that. I remember who said that recently. It might have been Dave Lombardo.
I think it was. Next up, Ivar Bjornsson from Enslaved is releasing another project called Bard Spec, which is apparently ambient music, and that's coming out in June. Pretty much anything Ivar does, I'm going to grab onto, so I haven't heard anything yet, but I'll be all over that.
I'll pick it up.
Yeah. Iced Earth is also going to be releasing a new album called Incorruptible in mid-June. I assume that Stu Block is coming back as vocalist. I
haven't cared for anything in the Stu Block era. Just don't give a shit.
Yeah,
I mean that's not true. I don't know. Something happened. They just went.
I loved Stu when he was with Into Eternity, and he's a great singer.
I mean, once. God, I've even lost musical chairs. I can't remember now. The last Stu replaced
Barlow.
Matt. Yeah.
It's hard to follow up Matt Barlow. The man is amazing. It's just when a band goes through their like third, fourth singer, I start losing interest because I'm like, give me some consistency here. Well, anyway, I guess we'll see what that sounds like.
Or won't, is the case maybe. I doubt there's even that much interest here.
I'll always check it out.
I checked out the first Stu album and
Walked away.
Yeah. I'm in the Barlow camp.
Barlow too.
So I'm excited about this next one. Belphegor is releasing their new album, Toten Ritual, on September 15th. And I hope it's going to be more death metal black goodness.
Do you know what Toten means in German?
I guess not if I didn't even say it right.
Death.
Death Ritual. That sounds like Belphegor.
I'm pretty sure.
It probably does. And there's Toten is used on the Monotheist too. There's a Toten god or something like that is the name of it. Okay. So it'd be the god of death, I guess. Interesting.
Interesting. You learn something.
Wow, Will teaching us stuff. Every day's a school day when you're with Will.
Dave Lombardo is not letting any moss grow on him. He's got another project with Mike Patton called Dead Cross, and that's going to be coming out later this year. I have no idea what that's going to sound like.
Is Mike Patton the guy from Faith No More?
Yep.
Yeah, he's a douchebag.
Mr. Bungle. And,
He's so full of himself. I don't like Mike Patton, dude.
I saw the Faith No More tour, was it 2 years ago now? Freaking amazing.
Oh, dude, I saw him on the tour. What's the name of the record? The big one,
The Real
and
Thing.
they were amazing. But I just can't fucking stand that guy. Please, John.
Jay, I just can't help but think, you live in my old hood that you might know some stories being out in the Bay Area.
That about Mike being a douchebag?
Yeah.
Mike
Maybe.
All right. We'll leave it at that.
I know a few stories, and it's been 25 years since I lived there.
Get the famous douchebag. Let's put it that way.
Well, why don't we get
Sorry.
we're going to get Will riled up here. What's that?
Another smart band here.
Yeah. Frank Bello of Anthrax said that he'd love to work with Lady Gaga. So maybe she's going to make the rounds of the metal bands. First she was with Metallica, and Will loved that. And now Anthrax. He's shaking his head.
You know, I thought you put this on there just to fuck with me.
Nope.
And I actually looked it up. I looked it up, and it's true. And I have no words. Fuck it. Whatever.
Dude, man, we're going to have her on the podcast.
I'm done. I'm not playing anymore.
Yeah, we're going to bring her
there was
on.
a picture of her wearing an Anthrax t-shirt or something, and I think she actually does kind of know him or something.
Yes,
Hey,
John.
Will, at the Decibel Fest, can you ask Dave Mustaine if she's joining the band at some point?
Hey, Steve, I love you guys, and I'm looking forward to hanging out with you a couple of times coming up. But if you guys have aspirations to hang out with Lady Gaga, that's it. I'm done.
Well,
I should note I'm going to see Lady Gaga this fall.
All right, what's the next
Everybody
news
walked away.
I have some things to say, but I won't say them about that. But
All right. Well,
negative things.
what's that?
I'm gonna say not negative things so much, but
Oh, well, then help me out here.
Oh, lifeline. George needs a friend on this podcast with his love for Gaga.
Respect for.
I'm not like a Lady Gaga super fan or anything. But I do think that as far as a pop star, and she writes all of her own songs and does her own thing, and I think that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I don't like sit down and listen to her records or anything, but I think part of the reason is like, oh, pop is so disposable and it's plastic, and it's just like, well, if you can write that, if you're a pop star and you're writing all that music yourself, there's an art to that too. I think that's cool.
Of course, super talented.
But I think it's kind of it's funny to see like how people's reaction, like, oh, Metallica can play with Lady Gaga. It's like Metallica has nothing to fucking prove anymore.
Yep.
Like they do whatever Metallica's going to do, and that I'm surprised that you guys are surprised that Metallica play with Lady Gaga.
I wasn't.
I don't know.
I'm not surprised at all.
Yeah, I don't think we were surprised. And I'll just say this. I mean,
We weren't
Metallica
surprised, but I didn't
changed.
like it.
There you
Sure,
go.
and I didn't see it, so granted, like I have no critique or feedback on the actual performance. I just think it's funny.
For me, it just feels like a new corporate partnership, which just gets under my skin. You know what I mean? Like, and I know they're not doing a bunch of stuff together, but that Metallica work is at that corporate level now that just I have a
Right.
Well, you
that
know,
really gets under my.
when you're
Think about
Metallica,
Hey, more power to them. It's not their fault that they're so fucking huge. I'm just saying.
when you're
to me, that
Metallica,
it just takes all the fun out of
you've
music.
played Antarctica. What kingdoms are left to conquer? You got to do something to keep yourself interested.
The thing about Metallica,
How about
too,
write a good fucking album?
Wait. I want to hear Steve's point on this.
the thing about Metallica too is, I mean, even in their heyday, people. I mean, granted, I'll be completely honest here. I wasn't around from when these albums came out.
Sure.
But when you listen to, I mean, as a listener, when I listen to those albums now in their prime, Metallica was always, everybody was making a right hand turn, and Metallica always made a left hand turn.
Yeah.
Master of Puppets sounds nothing like anything else that was coming out at that time. There was a lot more balls and ambition as far as like the songwriting department and the things that they were doing.
Sure.
So I just think that people are like, oh, they don't thrash anymore. It's like, oh, I mean, yeah, they're older guys. They've made a name for themselves. Maybe they're at a different point in their lives now, but I think that it's just so funny that the short-sightedness of people being like, oh, they don't play thrash anymore. It's like, even when thrash was in its heyday, Metallica was always like, nope, we're gonna do this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, of
they were
course.
always doing their own thing.
I'll say this. I think they'd make better artistic choices though if they still had Cliff around. In the Master of Puppets book, which is this amazing book that just came out, that's one of the things I read. One of the guys is talking to, I don't remember who it was. I think it was Rolf Halfine or something, that photographer, and he was like, it was very clear that when they had ideas, they'd bring them up, and if Cliff was like, no, we're not doing that, they'll be like, yeah, it's not cool, then we're not doing it. Cliff, and so I think they would have made some better choices. You know what I mean?
I read
Cliff
that
was
book
the
and like
older,
I got
cool
that
guy in the band.
Yeah,
And it's
I
the
got that
photo
book.
essay. Yeah.
I got that book and read it in like a day and a half.
The photo essay
for
thing?
Christmas. Yeah.
Oh, me too, dude, because I'm obsessed with that record, and and I love the photos from that period. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I think there's definitely true. Like Cliff had a very artistic. I mean, I'm speaking for some people I don't even know, but in hindsight, but I think that Cliff had a very open-minded and very artistic direction. He was the one who encouraged that band. He was like, look, who fucking cares about what this dude who has like 1,000 patches on his vest thinks?
Yeah. Well, he was the one in the band who'd taken acid, and I'm not joking. I mean, he was their guru, dude. He was the guy who fucking had the inside information.
Yeah,
and the rest of them were just like, okay, that's cool.
But no, I mean, I worship those Metallica, those old records so much.
I'm just sitting here. I'm just sitting back listening. I think Steve and I, who are right around the same age, he's a couple years younger. I think him and I don't have I had a pretty harsh reaction to this. But Steve, I don't think it hits home as much for us because we did not grow up like George, John, and Will did. Actually seeing Metallica start. And these guys saw them back in the day. They saw and they were around as these albums were coming out.
They were our Crypt sermon, dude. And that's no, like seriously. And so it'd be like, you guys are like this great, with all due respect, underground band, I mean, and you're kind of on this cool underground label, and it's so clear that you're not trying to get on the radio or anything like that. And not that there's anything wrong with that, you know what I mean? But it's just that's what changed about Metallica. They just did become this kind of corporate concern, and that's just there's a punk rock aspect to metal. There's a total punk rock aspect to metal that you could still pull it off. You could still make music that I love, but I don't know, just something. And it's not their fault. They're worth fucking hundreds of millions of dollars, dude. What are you gonna do? Sooner or later, you gotta shop at the big stores. You know what I mean? I understand. They're different people now, and I agree with you this wholeheartedly. They should walk whatever direction they choose. And I don't mean this as a put down, but there's just some directions I don't want to follow. I mean. Oh no,
that's the same. That's the thing about them. Like they've done things that I did, a lot of things that I don't like, or I don't like. I'm not unreasonable or so much. I'm not in denial either. It's just like it's like, okay, well, this album, it's like this. I mean,
you like the new one?
I think the new one has some good songs on it. I thought actually that Moth into Flame was a really good song. I thought it was it had a lot of the just classic Metallica moments. It was really catchy, and it was, the song arrangements were like, they were clever. That was what made Metallica. Metallica was really good at doing things that were just super clever. But I think there's some duds on there. I think there's definitely some filler, and it runs a little long. But I mean,
no, it's not an embarrassment. I mean, it's not an embarrassment. George is probably the only one on the pod who's really, I think, got into it more than the rest of us. But it's not an embarrassing record by any strange sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly not flawless either. I think, but I think it's. But when I thought, I mean, when they released the title track, I was like, okay. I was like, whatever. But I'm, it sucks, and I don't want to say this, but it's like, the bar is kind of set fairly low for them at this point.
If it was not them and they released that record, we wouldn't be jumping all over it if it wasn't them. If that record came out, I doubt we'd all be calling it. You got to hear these guys.
But I thought when Moth in the Flame came out, I remember I was on my lunch break at work, and I put on the video and I listened to it. I was like, and then I put it on like 5 times, and I was like, you know what? That song's fucking good. I think it's a good song, and it wasn't like a, oh, this is cool for a Metallica song in 2016 or whatever. It was like, this is cool. This is a cool good Metallica song. And that's, what, honestly, like, that's all I could ask for at this point. It's just like, I want a song where
bar is low.
Has anyone noticed that we were talking about Anthrax here with Lady Gaga, and they got kind of shelved for Metallica?
They take over these conversations.
What
I love about
I just find it funny is that nobody really gave a shit about Anthrax there.
Well, I'm going to add to the Anthrax thing and just say something I said to George, which was earlier this week, that they just released a deluxe package of For All Kings, which George and I, the only ones who like, fine. But you owe it to yourself to go to iTunes or Bandcamp and listen to their version, Carry On My Wayward Son, which is just like this note-for-note retake, which is actually good, and Joey sounds just fucking awesome on it.
Yeah,
what I love about this podcast is if you mention the word Metallica, you just block off 20 minutes.
Yeah, rant. Multiple rants.
Oh, I'll go all day.
Hey, Steve, that was a great book, though, wasn't that? Master of Puppets book was really exemplary.
Oh yeah,
I have it. It's awesome.
Metallica in their prime, from those albums, is still, as far as like a songwriting standpoint, is like my biggest musical influence, hands down. That band changed my life. So
and a visual standpoint, everything about them, they were just the package, man.
Yeah. It's just, I just think it's so funny. Like you said, you mentioned Metallica, it goes on for 30 minutes, but it's just so funny. I'm 30, and even people who are like a couple years younger than me are like, oh man, fuck Metallica band, fucking sucks, fucking sellout band. And it's just like, dude, really? Like,
I just don't know. I think those are guys just trying to get their feet around the cool guys.
Jumping on the bandwagon.
It's like coming out against Vietnam at this point. You know what I mean? It's sort of like, it's pretty much the popular point of view.
You sort of had to be there in '91 when you were holding that Black album in your hand. You know,
That was rough.
Well, I think a lot of it, and this is, kind of maybe, I don't think it's entirely long-winded, but I remember like when Municipal Waste kind of came out and broke through a couple of years ago, and did like the whole like re-thrash in quotes thing was like getting big again, and it got a lot of younger kids into thrash, which is just cool. They got into a lot of cool music, but because of that, like they're like oh, Metallica, like it's fucking corporate band, they're not thrash, they betrayed thrash. Like, so I think a lot of that crowd that has sort of just refused to even try,
which is too bad because they're missing some of the greatest records ever made.
Yeah, I mean that's all. Yeah, it's all whatever. But
no, it's a relevant point. I'm glad I lived through it because Metallica still holds a huge place in my heart.
Yeah.
All right, we got one last news item, and this one goes out to my buddy Buke. So Revocation has a song called Communion featured in the new Power Rangers movie, and I expect Buke must be very proud.
This was from their latest album, Great is Our Sin. And I haven't seen how it appears in the movie, but it's probably 10 to 20 seconds worth. But it's cool that one of my favorite bands makes it on the big screen. So.
Yeah.
You know what it's going to be? It's going to be when they walk into a bar they really shouldn't be in and walk right the fuck back out. It's going to be representative of don't come in here.
Yeah.
So it's cool that one of my favorite bands, makes it on the big screen. So that's pretty awesome.
Good for them. I hope
I don't think soundtracks in 2017 hold much weight unless you're my 3-year-old and it's the Trolls soundtrack, which we listen to every day.
So you like what's his name? Timberlake.
It's Justin Timberlake.
It represents a little paycheck for him though, Buke. So that's something.
Hey, trivia question: do you know what soundtrack
Don Dokken? I'm sorry.
Angel Slayer Death Slayer Angel of Death was in?
I do. Okay. I thought you were going to say Inagata DeVita.
No.
That was Less Than Zero.
Less Than Zero. God damn it, Steve. We got to go sometime, baby. We're back and forth.
Yeah, no, I knew that one.
Angel Death. I know. Like Die by the Sword was in River's Edge, right, or something like that. I don't.
I have to look that one up.
Hey,
What?
guys,
Can you give us an era?
Mid 80s.
Okay.
Fuck. Angel Death. No idea.
Gremlins movie.
No way.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah, it's one of the Gremlins is it's past midnight and they feed them or whatever and they're getting bigger and I don't know if it was Gremlins 1 or 2, I don't remember, but I remember sitting in the theater watching it as a kid and going like, holy shit, Slayer Angel of Death is literally in this movie. Check it out.
Wow.
Look it up. Google it.
That was a good
Googling
poll.
it right now.
Also, that was a good poll by Steve on River's Edge, which was every metalhead when I was a teenager. You had to see the movie. Yeah. And listen to this. According to this is what's on it. And I don't know if they just added songs, but Captor of Sin, Tormentor, Evil Has No Boundaries, and Die by the Sword were all on that soundtrack.
Wow.
It was probably just somebody walking around with the boom box. Also, there's Kyrie Eleison from Fate's Warning is on that soundtrack. Did you guys? Awesome. You guys must have seen that movie.
I saw the movie. I don't think I ever saw the soundtrack.
Do you remember River's Edge, John?
Vaguely, yeah.
It was the Metalheads movie, but just because it had metal in it, nothing else about it was very metal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Things get blurry as you get older, so.
All right.
That and a number of beers during a podcast, so.
Yeah. All right, let's roll through these new releases, George.
This week's new releases, here they are. Spend your hard-earned money now.
All right, so the first one is actually coming out next week, but that'll be before this airs. And I saw Will was already talking about it, with the band, in fact, Bereft and their new album, Land. So what do you think of that, Will?
It's good.
It is.
I have to say that for almost a split second, I tuned out because in the first song, about a third of the way through, they bring in these clean vocals, which didn't really seem to fit. And I've listened to the whole album, and I don't remember. I've listened a couple times, and I was actually down here putting together kids' furniture in my basement, and my daughter has her little Frozen guitar, and she's strumming along to Bereft. Like, are you trying to learn the tablature to this? Like, what's going on? But I absolutely love the album. I could almost assure you this is going to make my year-end list. But
is it in the box?
It's in the box, yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
It's the album's called Land. It's a total death doom album. There is a little bit of, like I said, a little bit of clean vocals in the. I think it's only in the first song, and that's it.
That surprised me because there's actually another band called Bereft. I think they're out of LA, and I picked up their album back in 2012 called Lichen House, and it's more of a, I don't know, like it's heavier, it's a little different, and so I grabbed this promo thinking that was them, even though I knew this Bereft's previous album as well, but it's been a confusing
I think this
before.
is the same because I know these guys are out of Wisconsin. I think these are the guys that went on tour with our buddies in Gloom.
Mm-hmm.
They did like a mini, I should say mini, but they did a tour through like the East Coast, Midwest, I think. But I mean, it's a great album. I highly recommend it. Check it out.
Cool. I'm loading it up right now.
Yeah, it's good. I'm gonna let John take this next one.
Yeah, well,
Because I can't say it.
I'm going to call this band a post-black metal band. Well, because if I say black gaze, oh shit, I said it. You're going to go with you. No, it's the band Hairtois, I guess is the name. It's the album called The Circle.
Hair twat?
Yeah.
Hairtois.
In my brain, I say heretofore.
Yeah, that's German band that released I guess you'd call post-black metal album. First one in 6 years. And I think it's actually pretty good. I've given it a couple spins. I don't know. I'm guessing George is the only other person who's probably listening to this. So
Yeah.
I checked it out. My notes were not bad, but I need more time with it. As in, I just went on Bandcamp and took a cursory listen. And
it's a full listen. I think I don't think you can. It's one of those albums that just kind of continues from song to song to song. There's no definite breaks a lot of times through each different song. So
Yeah.
but it's good. I enjoyed it.
I like what I've heard so far.
Yeah.
This next one I put on our list because I was hoping we'd hear it before it releases next week. That's the new Mastodon album, Emperor of the Sand. And we have not gotten a promo, so all we can really say is what we said on the last episode for the songs we've heard. So I guess we'll talk about that one next time. Next up is an album I'm very excited about. From the ashes of Bolt Thrower comes Memoriam and their first album, For the Fallen. And if you had told me this was a new Bolt Thrower album, I would have believed you because it sounds very much like Bolt Thrower. And I like it a lot.
You know, it's interesting. When I was listening to this, it kind of reminded me, if for some reason his vocals sound a lot like Napalm Death, Barney, I think his name is. And it almost seemed like a slowed down Napalm Death in a way to me. Slightly less Bolt Thrower, more napalm, like a slow Napalm Death.
I think Carl enunciates a little better than Barney does.
Well, yeah.
But
It's a great album.
it is.
A new story I think we may have skipped over, and a band that sounds similar that I know we're fans of. They've had some lineup changes recently, but in the past week or so, Hail of Bullets, after some lineup changes, called it quits.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Shit.
So in the same vein of similar sounding bands. So.
That's a bummer.
Next up, the Spanish band Moonloop just released their new album called Devotion, but it's spelled Devo, or rather Dev Ocean. Devotion. Sounds like something Devin Townsend would do. And I know John, as well as I, have been listening to this one, and it's pretty cool. It's kind of a prog death, maybe? What would you call it?
Yeah, there's definite elements of Opeth. There's definitely some elements of Gojira. There's a lot of squeaks in there that Gojira does.
Yeah, I can't do it. I tried.
But I mean, well, I think you picked this up too, didn't you, Will?
I did. And what's interesting is I listened to the first song, and the first song doesn't really sound like the rest of the album in a way, but it definitely has a very much an Opeth sound, but it's a little bit more, I don't know, like avant-garde. There's a lot of weird time signature changes in there.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. What's the name of this band?
Moonloop.
Moonloop.
Like Moonloop, all one word, moon and then loop. Yeah, well, I agree. I think they kind of throw some left-hand turns in there in the middle of songs, which is kind of nice. No, I thought it was pretty cool. I liked it.
Yeah, but there's definitely some heavy Opeth elements in it and he sounds a lot like Ackerfeld.
So this next one is probably the biggest release of the week. The new Pallbearer album, Heartless.
Pre-pod chatter suggests there was some parting opinions on this one.
Is this now the new Metallica / the new Opeth now Pallbearer?
Yeah.
Feels that way.
Well, I love it. Going on
I
the
liked it
record.
too. I enjoyed it.
I think it's good.
Yeah, I liked it. There was definitely a production difference in it.
Improvement.
I think a lot of it is it's what you could almost say about Metallica nowadays. Not to go back to Metallica, but I will. It's just so the guitar tone was not. It's a little bit brighter. It's not as heavy guitar tone. On some of the songs, you hear it, and some of the songs I think you could have put on Foundations of Burning, but it doesn't have that same sort of visceral intensity.
But I think it is. I think it's the production. Well, I don't think it's a guitar tone choice or even a writing choice. I think it's merely the production that's doing that. And I agree with you. It's a little bit more generally approachable. It's cleaner.
Yeah. So I definitely like it less than Foundations of Burning, which is still to this day is very high on my all-time albums list. So I have to say I'm a little disappointed with it. It's not terrible. I mean, I like it, but it's not.
But Will, it sounds like you like it more than the last time we got together, because you were a little down on the two songs that were originally out.
Yeah, now that I've heard the whole thing, thing. There are redeemable songs in there that kind of harken back to some of the other ones, but for the most part, yeah, it's a little cleaner production. It's a little less. The guitar tones are not as heavy. But
I will say this: his singing has gotten better every album. I think, personally, for me, I just think he's a better singer now.
Yeah.
I wouldn't disagree with that.
So credit goes to Buke for this next find, and I'll be damned if I know how to pronounce it. So why don't you go for it, buddy?
Yeah.
Do your best or your worst.
The one guy who can't pronounce anything. Hey, pronounce this one.
And he's gonna fucking nail it.
Yeah.
No pressure.
You can do it.
Warm up with a couple other words, Buke.
I've been going back and forth all week for this.
We're going with what you say. How's that?
For the rest of time.
Yeah. Until Evan tells us otherwise.
Yeah.
Replicere.
Yeah. I'm like, is it replacire, replicire, replicere, replicere?
I think it's
what's up with the C? Is it hard? Is it soft? I don't know. So we're gonna spell this out for you. REPLACIRE. And their second album, Do Not Deviate. And as John mentioned, Evan from Wilderun is part of this band, which makes it interesting because it is a death metal album, to be sure. And then they just out of the blue go into these like clean vocals.
So Buke, are you a fan of this album?
Oh, I love this album. Absolutely love this album. There's prog parts, but it's not crazy, wacky. I went to Harvard and majored in math proggy. This is an awesome album.
The reason why I'm asking if you like this album, because it sounds like it has a lot of like that gent aspect to it.
I didn't think so at all.
And I know you hate Machine.
I hate gent.
But I didn't
This
think it
has a
sounded
lot in it, dude.
Oh, I don't think there's any gent in this at all.
Oh,
personally.
opening riffs. Yeah, dude.
No.
I'm telling you.
No,
I'm
that's-
surprised Buke likes it.
No, it doesn't. To me, it doesn't sound like gent at all. Personally,
Yeah, I didn't get that either.
no.
I did.
Let's
Listen again.
see if Buke likes the next
It
one.
was kind of like tech death to me, but with some clean vocals thrown in. Yeah, so this next one, to incite another podcast riot, I didn't initially have this on the script until Buke asked me to put it on there, and that's the new Steel Panther, Lower the Bar, which we are now doing.
Wait, we're not lowering the bar by mentioning this.
Yeah, we are.
Buke, did you get the meme I sent you? You did. I know you did.
Yeah, I did. I love Steel Panther. I still laugh every time I heir their songs.
So
Get 'em, John. Get 'em.
I think
Sorry.
they're great musicians on top of it. Now, I will admit this is, their fourth album now. It's much of the same.
I think it's
Sure.
the third.
It's
It's a little played
pretty-
out. I haven't even listened to it, so
I listened to about 2 seconds, and I will, full disclosure, I think I've mentioned this before on the podcast. So I think it was 2010 when I first heard Steel Panther when I was in brewing school. And I was like, oh, this is great. This is awesome. Because
yeah, it was funny.
It was funny, but then after the second album, you're like, all right, it's more of the same. And the second album was like just super raunchy to the point that, I'm certainly, none of us are these uptight sort of people that will not, who cringe at the sound of.
Let me take that for you, Will. Will's a Marine, and he was like, "Ooh, these guys got to tone it down."
Exactly. And then I was just like,
we have
okay,
wives, okay? We got to deal with this.
Yeah. So, yeah.
The best
Hey,
part about
everybody-
this,
go
best
for
part
it.
about this, everybody, I have no feelings on this band. I
Yeah.
don't care. But it was just the best part about it was watching everybody's face when this band got mentioned.
I will say this, and I mentioned this before.
Instant sadness and melancholy. It's hit the sore spot.
I have seen them live, and it was a great time to see that. They're. I would say this: go see them live once. It is a great.
Don't even waste your fucking time.
No, because
My
it's
God.
kind of like they know what they are. They get the joke,
Sure.
and they put on a
Yeah.
show for you, and it is
So,
it is
Let
funny
me ask you
show.
a question. Were you a big hair metal fan back in the 80s?
I mean, I listened to it. I did.
Okay,
I mean,
that's a major flaw
Every
then.
rose has its thorn.
Yeah, I think I agree with John. That's my biggest problem is that hair
It's
metal was
fucking hair
torture.
metal, man.
Yeah, I hated that shit.
but it's funny hair. Like I'm not trying to defend them because I didn't. I didn't.
There's
get
nothing funny about hair metal. They're a fucking joke, the whole genre.
There goes
so it's a
John.
satire. It's a satire of a satire.
You want
well, I
grumpy
say
guy?
you
Here
got
he
to
comes right now.
you know what I
That's
always
probably
my response to this always was, and they did it with a much higher brow. The Darkness. I like the Darkness. The Darkness is a good band, but this is a
Yeah.
different thing.
Yes.
And the Darkness was to me a bit of a joke band in a good way.
Yeah.
But, I mean, which by the way, is there a better record title than One Way Ticket to Hell and Back?
Yeah.
That's just so good, dude.
Yeah.
Anywho.
Other than Tonight We're Gonna Rock Tonight.
Yeah.
Tonight I'm gonna rock you tonight.
Yeah. All right. We've got one more new release, and it's a goodie. Warbringer is back, and their new album, Woe to the Vanquished, and it's pretty vanquishing. Buke and I in particular are big John Keeble fans, so good to see them coming back. Does anybody else check this out?
Not yet.
Is it in the box?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ah, well, I guess I'll just have to say I'm all by myself. It's a great album. Check it out.
I didn't want to double speak, but classic thrash. John has a great voice. Their last album didn't catch me as much, but this one's a great return to earlier Warbringer sound that I like a lot.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, it is time to move on to our list.
We made a list, we all made a list. We made a list, man, we all made a list. We made a list, and we all made a list, and we're gonna tell you all about it right now.
Oh God.
This
What the
time,
fuck?
Jay was giving me a lot of grief about this earlier.
I was like, what motherfucker came up with this top 5 traditional doom? I mean, Jesus, dude. You might have just said top 5 metal albums. I mean, this is hard. This is a hard one.
Yep, top 5 traditional doom albums.
Yeah,
in
and by the way,
honor
George,
of Steve.
Fuck you for putting this on here.
Yeah, well, all right. So the way this works, we start with our number 5. We work our way down to our number 1. Everybody's going to go around and give their 5. We're going to start with Steve, move on to John, and then Will, and then Jay, then Buke, and then myself. So to put you on the spot, Steve, what would you say your number 5 traditional doom album would be?
Oh man, traditional. I'd say my traditional list is probably shorter than 5. But
Yeah, everybody was complaining they thought it was too hard. I thought it was relatively easy.
yeah, it's.
I mean, because there just wasn't that many.
Let's put the caveat on here that we were not allowed to mention Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I figured that was such. But
Because George, what did you say, George?
You cannot, mere mortals cannot judge the gods. And,
Exactly.
I mean, come on, Black Sabbath, they invented metal, and so many of the doom bands that followed have at least a
it's their
nod
blueprint.
to them that it's just,
Sure.
it's kind of silly to put them on a list.
Yeah, it's the blueprint. Yeah.
so it's traditional doom. There's no death doom. There's no nothing.
Right.
Do whatever you want. Yeah, but you're a guest here. You can say whatever you want, my friend.
Yeah, because I didn't really plan a list out too much, but I'll just
wing it.
Yeah, I'll just wing it. Not too much. So I'll start with one of the album influenced me when I was a younger kid, nice, but not so much a traditional doom record per se. But I think Anathema's "The Silent Enigma" was one of the ones that influenced me and got me really into like atmosphere and just sort of a bigger, more full sound. Which is, and I'm not saying it's a flawless record, but it's a very personal record, and it's one of my favorite records.
Oh, yeah, it's
But then I'm
very
like,
welcome on this list. It's a good choice.
Yeah.
Good
It's
choice.
just amazing how so many guests like all the albums I like. I love it.
All right, well, what is your number 5?
Well, okay, it's not Anathema. I had a bunch of honorable mentions, and as Jay was saying, this is too hard. I just scrapped them and dumped them. There's no point in even having any because there's too many.
I've got
So-
one, but I'll do it at the end.
Well, here, all my honorable mentions for my number 5. I had 3 albums for my number 5 spot. They're all albums that came out like 15 years after the band actually recorded them. So if you know any history of early Doom, post Black Sabbath,
One of them's got to be a pentagram record then.
well, you just fucking nailed it, Jay. Because first of all, that album's awesome. But
It is,
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, half of those songs were probably written in the 70s. But it's the old Death Row, All Your Sins demo, which eventually became Pentagram's first album, which is Pentagram, and then renamed eventually into Relentless. But I absolutely love that album. I think it's a great album. It's got a little bit of the 70s feel with a little bit of the 80s feel to it. So
Yeah,
for Doom,
definitely.
but it's one of the traditional Doom albums post Black Sabbath, one of the Godfather albums. So
Yep. All right.
Is that that's your number 5? Okay.
yeah, that's my number 5. I had 2. Okay, my other 2 were Pagan Altar. I don't know if you guys like Pagan Altar at all.
Yes, man.
Fuck
Totally.
yeah. And then Sorcerer, who's late 80s, their first album, which didn't come out till 2011, I think, as a 95, 2011, whatever. That's another early or late 80s kind of traditional Doom band that I like. So.
Yeah, I forgot about that one.
And those were all demos, too. Same thing for them.
Okay. Will?
I went back and forth with George a lot over text to exactly figure out what this top 5 list was. I mean, and exactly what Steve was saying. And so no Death Doom, no Black and Death Doom, just traditional, like clean singing, sort of like that 70s, 80s sound to it. And so therefore I went very purist. And I have 2 honorable mentions. I'll just mention them real quick. And the reason why these are honorable mentions is because they don't fall very neatly into that category. Everyone knows my number 1 album last year is Eerie. It's sort of doom-ish, but I just love the album. So anytime I can get the chance to mention that album, I will. And Paul Bearer, Foundations of Burden. I love the album. And just it doesn't quite exactly fit into what I was thinking. So my number 5, and I have to say my list, as always, is not in a very hard order, but my number 5 is Candlemass, Epicus, Doomicus, Metallicus.
Good album.
Nice.
Very good album.
Excellent choice.
All right.
Mine is mine was hard too, so forget it. I'm just going to skip the honorable mentions. And I don't think John will think this was a weird choice, but I actually like this one. Actually had the weird singles, Lost Studio stuff, blah blah blah. So it's not really an album. It was an album, and ultimately, but Pentagram, Last Days Here.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, there's just no dead space on that, and it all comes from that same era. It's just it wasn't really written as a record. It just came out in this conglomerate form, but it's great and it works and it flows. So,
Which, if you know anything about Pentagram, is their kind of MO for those X number of years.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, well, just watch the fucking movie sometime.
It's,
I mean,
it's just an outstanding documentary. I love it.
it is. It's really special.
What's the lead singer's name again?
Bobby
Liebling.
Bobby Lieber.
Yeah, and he's from the DC area.
Yeah,
Is the whole
yeah.
band from DC area?
The original band was.
The original band, yeah.
Yeah,
Because I know Albert from Yesterday's Saints and Gloom used to be in Pentagram for a little while.
Oh, is that right? Good for
Yeah.
him.
I think he played with them live.
when Bobby lived with his parents, it was in Germantown, just down the road from where I was working.
Yeah.
All right. That takes us to Buke.
I don't know how hard this was. This wasn't that hard for me because a lot of the traditional Doom is kind of boring for me. It's not real.
He prefers the faster stuff, you know,
Sure. Yeah.
like a guitar player. I'm harkening back to his question from before.
A lot of traditional Doom for me. I like the heavier traditional Doom where it's almost there for like a death side, but because it seems like to me a lot of traditional Doom is like the old drunk guy at a redneck bar. Give him a guitar, and that's the lead singer of a traditional Doom band.
So why are you not in a traditional Doom band?
Oh, snap.
With that said,
He'll be at Cafe 611 on Wednesdays and Thursdays from 8 to 9.
with that said, St. Vitus, Born Too Late.
Wow, that really fit the description you just gave it too, dude. Because
Wino.
Fucking Wino, yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. You picked the album with a guy named Wino singing on
Wino,
it.
yeah. Oh, that's dope.
All right. So I did have an honorable mention, and that would be Count Raven. And the reason I this didn't make my list and became an honorable mention was because I couldn't narrow it down. The first album, Storm Warning, has one singer, and the rest of the albums have a different singer. And I couldn't decide which one I wanted to use, and so I just dumped it into the honorable mention. And so my number 5, coming out of left field, is a Finnish band called The Wandering Midget, and From the Meadows of Opium Dreams. And
Did you just make that up?
I did not.
I think he did.
No, nope. They're from Finland. The album came out, I believe, it was 2012, and it's really good. Ricketts.
No, it's just we're all hitting our Google fucking here all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's a curious name. That's what I was like. The Wandering Midget. What the fuck is that?
Starting to think of his like Little Kiss or something.
yeah. All right. So on to number 4, Steve.
All right. Again, there was not a whole lot of thought put into this. I'm just picking things, but I think I'll go with Hollow's Victim Vitus. I personally am a big fan of the Rieger's era Vitus, more so than Wino. But I think Hollow's Victim. I think there's like a nice amount of energy injected into the songs of Rieger's era. I just think it's cool. But I think as far as a good like traditional doom metal release, I think that's a fucking awesome album.
Okay.
Awesome. John.
All right, it's already been mentioned. Joining Will with this one. Candlemass, Epicus, Doomicus, Metallicus.
You complete me.
For one.
He's slightly disappointed in me, I'm sure, to say that the one Candlemass I really considered, and I'll tell you right now, there's none on my list, was, believe it or not, King of the Grey Islands, just because I fucking love it. It's so much, so heavy, and bringing Robert Lowe in, and I know it's all about Messiah, but That's
Jay, I'm with you too. I love him. I love Robert Lowe in the band.
It's too bad he's gone now. My number 4, my love for this band is well stated these days. And oh wait, am I getting in front of Will here? I am. Sorry, Will.
Jesus, fucker.
Will, Jay, what's the difference? Just mix them up.
Yeah, I know, it doesn't matter. So yes, my number 4. I'm curious, Steve, if you've heard these guys. Freedom Hawk. If you know these guys?
I do not.
Hey, hey man, we've all been there. A couple of old Rasputins will do that to you.
Yeah.
Freedom Hawk, Into Your Mind. And I've mentioned this before on the podcast. If there's a singer that can nail Ozzy back when he was in Black Sabbath, this guy does it. I've never heard anybody sound so, because Ozzy's has such a unique voice, and that this guy nails it. So Freedom Hawk, they're out of Virginia Beach area, I think.
The second singer for Count Raven is also a dead ringer for Ozzy.
Okay, I'll have to check that out. But yeah, Freedom Hawk, Into Your Mind. I mean, it is by and by traditional doom.
All right.
Now, Jay.
My number 4 is a band who I have made it very clear that I'm very fond of these days, and they have a couple records that would fit very well on this list, but one of them I think perfectly. Witchcraft, Firewood.
Knew that was going to be on there.
Yeah,
There's Witchcraft anyway.
The Alchemist.
Was Witchcraft was this the album that was your number 1 last year?
Not the album, but yeah. I mean, they've moved on.
The band wasn't.
They're doing a much. They actually started as a super retro band, and they've been sort of moving through the retro years. So they're sort of somewhere in 1978 now. But this record would be harking back to 69 to 70 or something. But it's really good. It's a really great record. Great writing. Totally retro doom. Totally traditional.
Yukaki.
Number 4?
Yes, sir.
Again, I can't give the best descriptions with some of these because a lot of them in this genre kind of sound the same to me.
Just shit all over it every time you come up on the mic. Why don't you?
Let me tell you, I'm not enjoying this.
But one of my favorites, though, Trouble, Psalm number 9.
Number 9.
Nice.
Number 9.
Wait,
Number
what?
9.
Right
Number 4? Are you kidding me? Number 4?
Yep. Jesus. Okay, hey, that brings it to me. Going back to Finland, or rather staying in Finland, I'm going to go with Reverend Bazaar, and In the Rectory of the Bizarre, a Reverend.
Believe it or not, I strongly considered putting a Reverend Bazaar album on here, George.
Yes! I did not think anybody was going to even think of that.
No, yeah. They were on my whittle it down list.
Can you please mention a band that I've heard of before?
From here on out, it will be much more traditional, if you will.
Steve, you're up.
Number 3.
Okay. I will also Psalm 9 be my number 3.
All right. Good choice.
Excellent choice.
Gone.
All right. Number 3, Solitude Eternus, Beyond the Crimson Horizon.
I almost put that one on.
Oh, there you go. And you got some, and you did get some Robert Lowe.
It's my favorite one by those guys. So
Yeah.
Steve's having a seizure, or he's really happy. I can't tell which one.
I think he liked that.
A little bit of both.
Okay.
All right. Well,
My number 3, and this has absolutely nothing to do with the fact that Steve is on here, but Crypt Servant, Out of the Garden. Man, if you can find traditional doom, that's it.
I was wondering who was going to be the first to kiss his ass, because I specifically left it off not to kiss ass.
No, well, I left it on because I'm just being real. And I remember when John and I think it was our year-end 2016, when we were driving up to Frederick to go see you guys in the Metalhead podcast headquarters studio, we were listening to Crypt Servant on the way up, I think.
yeah.
Not that I'm not known for kissing ass. I mean, come on. I had
Yeah,
Joel
like
on
Ross
and it was
on,
my
yeah.
album of the year, so
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. So that's basically what I mean by that.
It's Steve, you guys nailed it. And it just, the fact that you're from Philly may have influenced me just a little bit, but it's still great, obviously.
Appreciate it.
Jay?
My least traditional choice, and probably one of the least traditional on all the lists, but it's just a slightly heavier than a traditional. Anyway, whatever. But I see these guys as the reason that Doom is really, they are one of the footholds in modern Doom. Electric Wizard, Dope Throne.
Okay.
No, I totally agree. And I sort of left them off because exactly what you said. They're not.
Just didn't quite, yeah.
Yeah, not quite. Because if we blur that boundary, then I would have had like a gazillion honorable mentions. So I went with very traditional.
Well, I could have put.
But that is a great one.
Well, the early ones, like the first 2, are actually super traditional, but I actually like this one better. So, the first 2 Electric Wizard records, that is. Buke, number 3.
Number 3, Count Raven, Storm Warning.
There you go.
Man, this again, like I said earlier, it's a little heavier. This ain't the drunk redneck at the bar smoking Marlboro Red. So
I don't ever get that from Doom. I don't know where you get that, but I did count Ravens, so I'll take it. My number 3, and in fact, this kind of reminds me of another honorable mention I had that I left off because I felt it was maybe a little too quick. They're definitely known as a Doom band at times, but it was more of a Death Doom thing. But Paradise Lost's Draconian Times would have been on my list.
Yeah.
But I considered it, that's a pretty quick album, actually. And I was trying to go with things that are a little slower, but one of my favorite albums all time. And that leads me to my number 3, which is part of that trinity of bands, My Dying Bride, Like Gods of the Sun.
Yeah, I was wondering if you were going to put that on there because you talked about no harsh vocals. I'm like, well, you're going to have to dig a little deeper on My Dying Bride to get that.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, I could have gone Angel in the Dark River, but that one's got harsh vocals, so...
Yeah.
Like Gods
That's
of
a
the
good
Sun.
choice. I like that album.
All right, Steve, do you have number 2 for us?
Number 2. Okay, so I'm gonna go with Solitude Eternus. I'm actually gonna go with Downfall as opposed to
Nice.
Into Death of Sorrow or Beyond the Crimson Horizon. Love all 3 of those albums, but I think Downfall was my introduction to the band, and I think song for song, it's just a fucking banger. I love that record.
And there's something to be said for the album that introduces you to a band.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think they really started coming into their own, that record, especially too, sound wise, songwriting wise. It's a great record. It's fucking awesome. I love that record. I mean, I could go on and on about it, but we should probably move on.
All right then, John, number.
Sounds like he's already part of the crew.
That's all Steve's going to say about that album. So
I'm going to say about that.
all right,
We
my
say
number
that a
2,
lot.
Yeah, deviated a little bit, not much, but absolutely love this album.
Do not deviate.
I'm deviating, not that much though.
That was an album reference.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
Okay.
So Cathedral, yeah, Throw Mirror.
I
Yeah.
wonder how many people were going to put it on here.
Probably their closest to traditional Doom album because they were either harsh vocal Dooms before that or they went kind of stoner rock after that. So
Yeah. Carnival Bazaar, I really like that one too.
I do too, but it's a little more mixed. It's kind of their bridge album, I thought, which I like that album actually more than this one, but
Yeah.
I wanted to stick to the kind of traditional Doom sound. So
Fair enough.
I mean to interrupt. Did I say Downfall? Because I meant to say Through the Darkest Hour.
You can do that 2 or 3 more times.
Steve, on this podcast, we don't make mistakes. We're always perfect, okay? I'm sorry. You get one chance.
You get a lot of audibles on here.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Through the
Like
Darkest
nobody's
Hour-
ever.
I didn't mean to jump in, but Through the Darkest Hour was the one I wanted. But anyways,
Carry on.
yes.
And we are at.
Will.
Will? Yeah.
well,
My number 2, Order of Israfel,
Oh.
the album Wisdom. And I may be alone on this one if anyone's even heard of it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. No.
Oh,
we've
yeah.
all got
Okay,
it, yeah.
guys from Gothenburg, Sweden. I mean, this is very traditional Doom, and one of the things that really caught me about this album is the second last song is a song called "The Vow," and it's there's no instruments. It's just the guy going off on a monologue about how he is the son of Lucifer and Satan, and he is more powerful than the Son of God, Jesus. And it's like this. Basically, it's like a schoolyard smackdown of "You are nothing and I am everything," and I don't know. It spoke to me quite a bit. It's just
All right.
awesome.
Their new one was kind of a disappointment. Will,
Yes.
I thought. I don't know. Yeah.
Red Robes or something like that. I think
Yeah,
it
it
was
just
called.
didn't, it didn't hold up to the magnificence of this one. You know?
Right. Yeah. The Red Robes was quite frankly, a huge disappointment. But Wisdom, that was good. It wasn't good. It was great.
Jay?
All right. I thought I would have heard this one a couple of times, and I suspect I'm not going to hear it at all now because I don't think it'll be so high on other people's lists. But I got this the same day, John, that I got the Pagan Altar album, the first one, Witchfinder General Death Penalty.
oh, yeah. Yeah.
Great album.
Boobies.
Boobies.
We all know that album.
All right, Buke.
This one, man, this is a great one. Maybe one of the ones after my number 1 I go back to the most because this one, it's traditional, but could easily be a little Death Doom album.
You know, the further
If
up
it-
his list we get, the more he actually likes it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, which makes sense, but, you know, he started off like, fuck Doom, and now he's like, I like this one.
I like this one a lot. Solstice, New Dark Age.
Oh, wow. Surprised
That
to
is
hear
a
that.
great album.
Good choice.
So again, this one, it's a real hidden gem if you like your Doom to be heavy but slow at the same time.
As Doom would be, yes.
No, you know what I'm trying to say.
I'm just messing with
you.
Oh, you got it. Nailed it.
That's a fucking odd album.
As opposed to Speed Doom.
No.
Or Technical Doom.
Yeah,
God, I wish I could.
Confessor.
there you go.
I wish I was fucking better. Or I wish I was more well versed and could describe this better. But okay. You know what? I just thought of it. Steve wearing a Bathory hoodie. Think of Bathory doing a fucking Doom album.
No, that album's awesome. It's a fucking killer record. I agree. That's definitely top 5 worthy. Sure.
So
Okay.
Yep. Nailing it.
For my number 2, I would go with number 9, Trouble, Psalm 9.
There you go. How many
Number
say it?
2. What?
Who's got it now? John? Did you say it?
It's not on my list yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Foreshadowing.
Away.
Okay, so Steve, what would be your number 1?
Okay. So I think my introduction to Candlemass was Tales of Creation, which remains my favorite. But I think as far as the definitive best epic traditional Doom album, I think Nightfall would be the one that everybody. I think that's the one.
Yeah.
Just leave that. I think that's it.
I predict you're going to hear it
I
two
think
more
there's no
times before we start
thing that,
talking.
I think a lot of people will cite the Epicus Doomicus as their
Yeah.
favorite. And that's great and that's fun.
Sure.
But I think as far as the definitive, absolute pinnacle of traditional or epic Doom, I think Nightfall wrote the book, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I honestly think I predict you'll hear that 2 more times before these lists are dried out.
Yeah, I think.
All right. Well, let's see who's. Let's go ahead and get John over with, I guess.
Can we do? Let's do John, Will, and Jay in fast succession because I have a feeling they're all the same record. Just
Maybe
okay.
not.
All right. Oh, okay.
The Obscura of Doom, the fastest Doom band ever to live.
Okay.
Speed Doom. See?
Come on. There can only be one. Trouble, Psalm 9. Come on.
Will?
Songs faster than the speed of light.
Yeah.
No, we can do this fast then. Will.
I'm cheating a little bit. Trouble Psalm 9 and The Skull.
Yes.
But Psalm 9 is first.
All right. Trouble. Psalm 9. That's why I wanted to do that. All right.
You were right.
That brings us, and I think I'm right about the last 2 too.
I think you are. Buke?
You are bewitched. Woo! Nightfall.
Yeah. I am also Nightfall. I fucking love that album. That is to me, that is, that was, when I heard that album, it was like, wow, the sky opened up and
Did you go out and buy a robe?
I was like, hey, it's a fat metal guy like me. I can do that too. Apparently I can't, but
I don't think we've ever had a list that was that close on one. That where we had 3. What's it? How many of us is it?
So John, if you had to put on your actual scientist hat, would you say that Trouble Psalm 9 or Nightfall?
no,
I went Psalm 9.
yeah, I mean, it was basically on. Did anybody not have it? Buke, maybe?
Not have it on their list at all.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
yeah. So
There we have it. Did
All
you
right.
know that? Hey, I know all the other guys know, but Steve, did you know that Oli, the original drummer in Trouble, he had to leave Trouble then the reform band, The Skull, because he's a brewer at Allagash up in Maine.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
God, that's crazy. That's
Yeah.
He also has the unique ability to say, "People, I'm not in trouble anymore." Sorry,
Well,
I'm out of trouble, dude.
all right, let's move on to what we've been listening to lately. Steve, have you been listening to anything interesting?
I wouldn't say I've been listening to anything so much that's come out this year. So nothing new entirely.
It doesn't have to be new. It could just be anything at all. It could be.
What are you loving? What are you liking?
What am I like? Okay, so I've been listening to the first 2 King's X albums.
Oh, far out.
Yes.
Out of the Silent Planet. Gretchen Goes to
Gretchen goes
Nebraska.
to Nebraska. Yeah.
I've been digging on those a lot lately. As far as new stuff, that Abigor, Nightbringer, and Night Arcade, Mortis, like 4-way split where it's all like one big song. That's been the one thing I've been listening to this year. As far as other stuff, what have I been listening to?
While you're thinking, I'm going to tell you a really short King's X story because it's totally worth telling. And when Gretchen Goes to Nebraska came out, I went and saw them, and Masters of Reality opened for them, if you guys remember them.
I do.
And there was so few people there that it was me and like 3 of my friends, and the crowd doubled in size when Masters of Reality stopped playing because they came out and sat in the crowd. So it was like we were literally talking to the band between, and then they asked us if if we wanted to do a request. And we requested the King's X did, and we requested a song they already played, and they played it again, which was fucking badass, dude.
That's awesome.
It was like a great memory I have. This great show.
All right. Anything else, Steve?
I'm just trying to think. So it was what I mentioned. It was King's X, that Avigor, that Arcade Nightbringer, 4-Way Slit. Honestly, I've just been listening to that, and, like Stars of the Lid and Blackwater Park right
Yeah,
now.
I like Stars on the Lid, dude. I got a couple Stars on the Lid records.
That's about it right at the moment. I haven't had anything in too heavy rotation. Oh, and some of the Electron album leave John Roth albums after watching him rather.
Cool.
Yeah, nothing too crazy.
Crazy will be mine. It gets a little out of hand. All right, John.
All right. From New Music Friday, Heretois the Circle, Pallbearer, Heartless, Moonloop, Devotion. My take on it, Replacire, Do Not Deviate. Still spinning the Fen Winter album. Will mention Metal and Romans and Elephants. So the XDO, I got that. Start listening to it, love it. The Immortal Wars. And then 2 non-metal albums. George mentioned this one last time. Richard Barbieri, the keyboardist from Porcupine Tree, released an album called Planets and Persona. If you like ambient music, what's that?
Sorry, how is it? What's it like?
Oh, it's just ambient electronic music is all it is.
Okay.
And then
Good for sleeping too.
yeah, it's good.
Right on.
And then it would be wrong for me not to mention this. I don't know if George is going to include it, but Devin Townsend released another acoustic album called Iceland, and spinning that. That's it.
All right, Will.
An album from this year that I am hooked on is Dope Lord, Children of the Haze. I mentioned that last podcast. I'm really digging that one. An album that I've been hooked on for an entire year now, Eerie's self-titled album Eerie, and I am obsessing over the new Obituary self-titled album and Creator Gods of Violence. And of course, because Steve is on the podcast, I've been listening to a lot more Crypt lately than I usually do, and I usually listen to it a lot. So that's it.
Okay. Jay gets settled here.
Sorry about that.
And if you'll notice, he left while fucking Will was talking again.
Yeah, you always leave when I'm talking.
Hey, Will, it's your turn to leave. So
Actually, I feel bad because I actually always get good stuff to listen to from Will, so that means I have to actually listen to this fucking show.
All right, Dope Lord, Eerie, Obituary, Creator, Crypt Servant. There you go.
Oh, thanks. Actually, okay. Well, I'm not missing anything there, so that's good. No.
Anything you didn't know about.
Yeah. Not at all how I meant that. Mine is sorry, Will. I love you so much. Pallbearer, Obituary. Well, I was glad you guys all kind of pushed me in that direction again. I wasn't going to listen to it, but I was in no hurry, and I'm really digging that record. Lord Vigo, that George brought up last time we recorded. Ordos is still spinning with me. Literally spinning with me. I got the vinyl. Oh, by the way, the Dope Lord is coming out on vinyl. Oh, and by the way, I got a ship order or a ship message on Human. I think must be shipping now. Did anybody get it yet?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You got it already?
Yep.
Fine. They're closer to you than that, I guess. Finally, John, I owe John a debt of gratitude on this one because I did not know this was on a vinyl, and it's side 4. The John Arch solo album is side 4 of the Arch Matheos, which in all honesty I listened to a few times when it came out, was obsessed with the John Arch record. Arch Matheos is brilliant. I'm listening to Arch Matheos over and over and over and over and over. That fucking thing is stuck in my vinyl. It's stuck in my turntable, my MP3 player, everywhere I can listen to it. That should have been on my best of post 2015 albums or post 2000 albums when we did that list.
What was the album again?
Arch Matheos, what is it? Resonance, Sympathetic Resonance.
Yep.
John Arch and John Matheos. Jim Matheos from
Faith Warning.
Did you say Archivist?
I will say that, well, it's not John Arch, but No Exit is awesome.
Oh, right on, dude. Yeah, which is not John Arch, but that's a damn fine album.
yeah.
I love that record.
That was my whole list.
All right.
What you listen to, Buke?
Sorry, I'm in a fantasy hockey semifinal, taking it down to the wire here.
I hope Brent Burns is still on your team because we're having trouble, buddy.
Losing my mind right now. So having a 2.5-year-old, you listen to a lot of children's songs in addition to the Trolls
I
soundtrack
like the setup so good.
that I've been spinning a lot, man.
Like the
I'm
wheels
telling
on the
ya.
bus, man.
No,
I
it's
listened
all
to the
about
Frozen soundtrack.
It's all about Trolls and Frozen. But Trolls has been her number one addiction right now. But something that was sent to us on Bandcamp, in addition to the replica, whatever it is.
I'm going to go with John's Replacire.
Replacire. I've been hooked on that. A couple ones that were sent to us. The Venium.
Yeah, I don't know how to say that one either.
Yeah, I don't know. Bands, some of us aren't the smartest, okay? Come up with simple names. please?
Crypt Sermon, great name, easy to say.
Yes.
Yes.
And also another one that was sent to me, Cryptic Void.
That was like some grind there. That was some
Yep.
fast shit.
Grind. Yep.
Wasn't it Rick up in New Hampshire who sent that to you?
Yep.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm a little offended because he did not think I would like it, and I do. He only
that,
sent it
Rick.
to you.
Oh, you're the soft one on the group, so don't know what to tell you.
You got his number.
Also, I forget, George, was it you with the dual?
Yes.
Oh, you were right, buddy.
I
love
told you,
that.
man. It's brilliant.
It's awesome. It's a home run.
Yeah,
George,
I couldn't get behind that one.
George knows me well.
No, I love that album. All right.
That's all I got.
All right. Cue up the Dope Smoker album. I've got another one of my legendary big ass lists.
Oh God, let me turn my bass pedals on.
I will try to go through it as quickly as possible, but some of these bear explaining.
Sharpen your pencils, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
In alphabetical order.
In alphabetical order.
Just skip the synthwave stuff. Just stick the metal.
I don't
and no
know that
Gaga.
I don't think I have any on here this time. Oh, well, no. I'll get to it. First up is the band Ash and Coal and the new
You're
album.
starting with A. This is going to be a long list.
Oh,
And it
God.
goes to W. Ash and Coal. It's a Swedish band. The album's called Legacy. It's not super heavy. I guess it could fall in the doom category somewhere. Their description is Ash and Coal represent the ominous darkness in music and man. Hard rock-ish, like Nick Cave-ish. I don't know what to say, but it's pretty cool. Next up is a melodic death metal band from Austria called Ashes of Moon, and I picked up their Melting Away EP, and it's quite good. The fuck are you laughing about, Will?
I'm laughing at John. John's like taking a nap.
Yeah, John sits back like he's about to drift off to Never Neverland.
This is people listen to this part just for me to put them to sleep, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's like ambient music for some people. Hey, get that, George.
I muted my mic to laugh by myself, by the way.
Yeah. All right, fuck you guys.
Are we on N yet?
No, we're still on A. I bought the entire catalog from Author and Punisher.
What? How do you listen to that, George?
It's good stuff.
No, it is not.
It's
You know what
interesting.
that sounds like? That sounds like starting a CD and kicking it and punching it and
It
hitting it with a
skips.
baseball bat.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
All
that is-
right. I also picked up the Black Karma EP from Black Hole Generator because I liked their album they put out last year. I picked up Blizzard.
John, we're on B, by the way.
Yeah, we're up to B. Blizzard at Sea, Ruminations. They're a progressive sludge band from Iowa. Moving on to the lone representation from C, we have Crimson Throne. They're self-titled black ambient band from the UK. This was one that Rick sent me. Thank you. The new Dread Sovereign album, which has hardly had any fanfare for Doom the Bell Tolls. That came out, and it's pretty good. The next one came courtesy of Jay, Goath, Luciferian Goath Ritual, German Black Death.
Add that to my list. God damn it.
Another one that hasn't really had a lot of fanfare, the new King of Asgard, it's Taudr, however you say that. Also pretty good. Thanks to my friend Josh, I've been listening to the entire catalog of the Canadian band Cobra and the Lotus, sort of Unleash the Archers-ish. I picked up the new, okay, we're on L now, Will, just so you know, L. The new Lantern album, Morphosis. They're a black death band from Finland. And then moving on to Greece for the band Mahakala and their album The Second Fall. It's kind of a sludgy, doomy, clean vocals. I don't know. It's good. Then we go to Master Boot Record, which I have no idea what that album is called. I want to say copy and paste. It's a bunch of like HTML codish kind of stuff. Italian 8-bit chip metal, and Buke actually thought he liked that one. It's like 8-bit, but there's like guitars and drums and stuff too. It's cool. I also listened to the Me and the Man album, Songs of Love and Death from Nerdle from Behemoth, and that was really awesome. The Moonloop albums we already talked about earlier, Devotion, and I also picked up the Deeply from the Earth, the previous album. Mothra, Decision Process, an experimental prog band from New Zealand.
About damn time you listened to it.
Yeah. Jumping from M all the way up to R, the Replaceer, Do Not Deviate, Thank You Buke. Then Soul, S-O-L, their album Upheaval, they're a sludge doom from Portland, Oregon, also very cool. Stargazer, Emerging to the Boundless, an Australian avant black death band. One that I think Buke and fucking everybody should listen to, because this one really took me by storm. From Australia, the band called Valhalor and Voyage into Eternity. It's an epic Viking folk band. It's kind of like Wilderun meets Amon Amarth. Really good. I highly recommend that one. One that surprised me, a prog band from Oklahoma called Van Gogh, as in the painter Van Gogh, but all one word. And their album War Paint, which surprised me, being super prog metal with a little bit of harsh vocals once in a while. The one Buke mentioned, Venenum, Trance of Death, a German death metal band, courtesy of Rick. Also from Rick, White Death, a self-titled black metal band, also from Finland. There's a lot of Finland today. Two more. Wormwood, Ghostlands, Wounds from a Bleeding Earth, a Swedish melodic black metal band.
Hey, John, wake up, we're on W.
Last one. The band called Wretched Soul, and their album The Ghost Road. They're a UK thrash death band, and that is it.
All right.
John
Hey,
is
Will.
feeling refreshed. Flip over Dope Smoker, and we shall continue.
Will, if you heard nothing else, you should check out that Goath record, Goath. They're on Bandcamp.
Gonna have to start getting the cliff notes.
Yeah. Well, that's what
That's what the franchise is for.
exactly. Marcus, the Cliff Notes man.
Okay.
All right, moving on to
Steve just has this look on his face like, what did I just sign up for?
yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's almost over.
No. You're fine. I'm having a great time.
Good. Oh, we're glad.
All
Hey, we're
right.
glad to have you, sir. We are.
I have to give you
glad to have
props because you're literally doing this whole thing by Skype on your phone. You've been holding your phone next to your face for a couple hours now.
I have a charger.
If I had $1 for the hours I held up Farrah Fawcett's poster with one arm, I'll tell you. All right?
Oh, Heather Thomas.
It's like a pour the whole time. Not paying attention.
All right, let's move on to our personal recommendation album.
You should listen to this. You should listen to this. You should listen to this record, man. You should listen to this. You should listen to this. You should listen to this album.
Personal recommendation.
Steve, do you have an album you can recommend for us?
This year.
It doesn't matter.
No, anything at all. Something you think people should listen to. Just a record you love.
From
All right,
1960.
I'll keep it. As far as this year, I think that the Abigor, Nightbringer, Night Shade, and Mortis 4-way split is awesome.
I know I'm going to check that out now because I did not know about that.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. It's all a cohesive track. Everything's sort of. It's not just like a split of separate songs. Everything's sort of written to be together. It's a cohesive track. It's great. I would be mine.
All right, John. Wake up, John.
All right. Hey, are we on? Where are we? All right, news items. I'll keep it short. I just saw Catatonia recently, so I'm going to go with an album from them. It's Last Fair Deal Gone Down.
Nice.
If you like their kind of middle period, I think it's a great album to listen to. So
Okay. Will, what do you got?
Mine may be a recycled one from a couple podcasts ago, but Forced Entry, Uncertain Future, released in June 1989. This is straight up awesome thrash. I can't say enough about this album. This is I loved it. They only had 2 albums. The next one, As Above, So Below, wasn't as great, and they had like a short little demo that I just learned about today that I cannot find anywhere. But Forced Entry, Uncertain Future. If you like 1980s style, early 90s thrash, check it out.
Cool.
Cool album. That was when thrash was starting to get kind of weird and interesting.
Nice.
Good one. Yeah.
Jay,
I'm deviating a little bit, and then I'm going what I would
do
call.
not deviate.
Don't deviate. Roots metal, and that sounds weird, but what I mean is this one of the Godfathers picked this up on vinyl recently on a reissue and was reminded that it's one of the great hard rock albums of the 70s. Alice Cooper, $1 Billion Babies.
Hell yeah.
Everybody should own that.
All right. Buke.
One of my favorite albums, Nevermore, Dead Heart in a Dead World.
I wanted him to say this godless endeavor so bad, but he just won't.
Nope.
He just won't do it.
The River Dragon Has Come is one of the
Yeah,
greatest songs
I
ever.
get that
I
one.
love that. I could talk about politics, ecstasy all day. Oh, that's a great record.
Right on. Mine is one that I actually mentioned the last episode. It's the new album from Wolfheart. And I mention it because I was contacted by Yanni from Perihelion Ship afterward. And he offered his services in being able to pronounce Finnish album titles.
Nice.
And so he sent me a few clips. And one of
So we
them...
have a translator service on board now. huh?
Exactly. He has offered his Finnish translation services for us, and so he is going to pronounce this album properly, as we did not. So I've got a clip here. Let's see if I can cue that up. This is Wolfheart.
Do we need to warn, George, do we need to warn people that this, if you have epilepsy or something like that, you might not want to listen to this?
If you have a morbid fear of consonants
and a tendency to seizures.
yeah.
All right, let it rip.
All right, here it is. Wolfheart and
Tyhjyys.
Dick yours too,
Yours.
motherfucker.
Yeah, and he also sent along a couple that we've been mentioning a lot recently. So here we have
Moon Sorrow, Jumalten aika.
Oh, nice.
and
Oranssi pasusu, värähtelijä.
so there you go.
By the way, George,
That was
is
no help
brilliant.
whatsoever, by the way.
No, but that's brilliant. Like that, dude, Yanni, cheers to you, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, and it's funny because when we were doing the Wolfheart, I've had this exact same conversation with my Norwegian brother-in-law who has tried to help me pronounce things before. He said,
Tyhjyys.
and I was like, 2 U's, and he's like, no, and he'd send it again, and I'd be like, 2 U's, and I just cannot wrap my tongue around it. I hear it, but I cannot say it. So thank you, Yanni.
Can't wrap your tongue around that.
I'm really grateful.
Huge.
I'm really grateful for him reaching out, but just to qualify me, that wasn't a helpful statement. John, what's the name of the new Oranssi Pazuzu album?
George, you want to cue that up?
That's all I'm saying.
Let's see.
Oranssi
I think you
pasusu,
have to learn some things with your tongue before you do it again.
What's that?
Do it again.
oranssi pasusu, värähtelijä.
No, doesn't help me at all. I don't think my tongue does those things.
No, I don't think so either. I think that's the problem. I'm too American, which is it is what it is. Yeah. All right, let's move on to our vinyl or other purchases, if we may. Have you bought anything recently, Steve? Vinyl or otherwise?
Yeah, I recently just got I guess the first vinyl edition of Abigail's handling the quintessence of Satan.
Wow.
But I get a few a week, but I got that, and a reissue of the first Emperor EP.
Oh, right on.
It's been pretty black metal on my end, but those have been my most recent purchase.
All right. John, what have you got?
Only one thing, because I don't include all the CDs I get, but it's a book that came with the CD.
Oops.
Devin Townsend's autobiography. Other half there, and it has the CD in there called Iceland, which is an acoustic version of songs that he recorded when he was in Iceland. So yeah, I don't know why it was there, but and I just started reading it, not that far into it. So, but it's already, I can tell it's going to be quite the journey. So,
have you listened to the CD? Was that good?
Yeah, it's just him on acoustic guitar.
Nice.
Nothing else.
Yeah, I picked up the book along with the CD as well, but I have not gotten into it yet.
Yeah, if you're a Devin Townsend fanatic, it's definitely worth getting. If you're just a casual fan, then I wouldn't waste your time. You wouldn't get the intricacies of Devin's mind. So,
or the phone thing.
Yes, or the phone thing.
I saw a picture of the pic today that says "Don't use Jay's phone."
I'm go ahead and say Jay Leno's not using his phone either.
Yeah. All right, Will, what do you got?
I have 12. I'll go through them real quick. There's
Jeez,
Black
let me
Tremor.
put on Dope Smoker.
Yeah, well, I'll go through them quick. And they're not in alphabetical order, so I'm going to surprise you. Black Tremor and Sweet Sea Witch did a split. It's great instrumental funeral doom kind of stuff. I did pick up the Crypt Sermon demo, MMXII 2013. I did not even know it existed, so I picked that up on Bandcamp. And thank you, Crypt Sermon, for sending me a thank you email. We talked about earlier the Cryptic Void, Into the Desert Temple, Bereft Lands. Really loving that one. It's great. I am so right before the Festival Magazine Heavy Metal and Beer Fest at Atlas, Metal Chris and I are hosting a mini Metal and Beer Fest at Atlas, and we're having King Giant play along with Cavern from Frederick, Maryland, and Lord from Virginia. And so I picked up the Lord Blacklisted and 2 Cavern albums, which I know John is a fan of. I picked up Outsiders and their other album, Tales of Ruin. I picked up the Woe, Hope, Attrition, which is like pretty much a black metal album with hints of death, which is pretty much how I like black metal, with a little bit of death in it. And then something that I actually knew about ahead of time, but our listener Rick from New Hampshire suggested Space Slug, which, if anyone is a Star Wars fan, they know Space Slug is the thing that the Millennium Falcon lands into when they're getting away from the Executor ship in Empire Strikes Back. And they have an album called Lamanis from last year, and then this year they just came out in 2017. They came out with Time Traveler Dilemma. It's traditional doom with like a lot of soft vocals, almost like a Jim Morrison softer style vocals. It's really interesting. And then I got the Vocanis, old one, Ascending. It's basically doom metal with some not death vocals, but just aggressive vocals. So it's not traditional doom. doom. Got the Moon Loop, Devotion, which we talked about earlier. I picked up Virginia Creep, their self-titled EP, which is J.R. Hayes, who's the lead singer from Pig Destroyer. It's their sort of punky doom, grudge, hardcore mix, no genre applies sort of band.
Wait, what's
And
that
then,
called? Will?
Virginia Creep,
Okay.
just self-titled EP. It's on Bandcamp. You can pick it up. And then George mentioned this last time, Cemetery Piss, Order of the Vulture.
Hell yeah.
One of the things that was mentioned this time that I always kind of give quick listens to things, but I've already downloaded the Bereft, and I'm thinking that's going to be right up my alley too.
Oh, it's great.
Just
It's
as a
great.
heads up.
Death Doom. It's awesome.
Yeah, I usually get one from Will. Usually one per episode. John usually gives me something too.
If you actually pay attention when I'm talking.
Yeah, well, come on, man. I don't have that much time.
Hard. I know, it's hard.
And today's two income families, who has the time, Will?
Hey, Steve, you back?
Yes. Did it hang up?
It did.
Yeah, sort of, but there you are.
Your video's off too.
Okay. Yeah.
There we are.
There he is.
All right.
Sorry, fellas. I had to pee.
Yeah.
Oh, welcome back.
Happens.
All right, I bought quite a few records on like one trip to the record store and just kind of went crazy. I had a little extra money. Well, a few. Dead Can Dance. I was waiting for the later reissues and I didn't know they were coming, but here they were all of a sudden. Eon and Serpent's Egg I got, and also I love them, man. And what was the other? There was another one. Spirit. What is that one? Spirit Walker. What's it called, John?
Spirit Chaser.
Spirit Chaser, excuse me. That one's out too, but I just didn't pick it up. So it's just a heads up there. I found a used copy of Manowar Fighting the World in blue vinyl. They just didn't have in vinyl, so I was glad to get it. I got Iron Maiden Somewhere in Time, which I didn't have in vinyl. Scorpions Blackout. I found a nice used reissue copy of that. I got this good stuff, right? Yeah, I know. I'm buying your list. I got Stooges Raw Power. I got Deep Purple Machine Head and Fireball. Fireball being my favorite Deep Purple album. I got Montrose, which was a gift from Buke. I appreciate that, buddy. And I got like a perfect 1973 copy of that somehow that looked like it never been opened.
Which, by the way, real quick, I don't know why more people don't talk about that band and the great albums that they put out.
Sammy Hagar.
It's
And,
weird. They could have been huge, but I just think Ronnie was hard to work with or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I ordered the 180 gram reissues just because I'm kind of going through a little phase again of Kiss, Rock and Roll Over, Love Gun, and Destroyer.
I just went Kiss phase. Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, but I'm
Recently
jumping.
went Kiss phase, and that's awesome.
I think you really need to have. I mean, whatever. You can live without them, but first of all, I grew up on them. They were my first band, like when I was 8, which I'm willing to admit. But you really need every record from a live 1 to a live 2, which is a live 1, Rock and Roll Over, Love Gun, Destroyer. The whole thing. Those are great records, man.
No, it's reassuring in a weird sort of way to hear other people love Kiss because I, like you, Jay, I grew up like when I was like 5 years old. The kids next door who were a little bit older than me were all into Kiss, and I remember just loving Kiss. And then lately, if I like mention that I grew up and loved Kiss, people are like, "What's wrong with you?"
But you know what? It's not unlike Metallica, Will. And what I mean is, when Kiss was cool, Kiss was fucking cool, dude. Like in the 70s, if you were there in 76, 77, this is the fucking coolest thing in town. I'm sure people laughed at them in some corners of the world, but those are good records. And they're all, I know them all backwards and forwards. And finally, I picked up, as for me recently mentioned, I got the Alice Cooper. That's a beautiful reissue for those of you who like Alice Cooper. I don't know if they're doing a group of them, but the $1 Billion Babies original packaging. And then thanks to John, I knew about the Arch Matheos, and I picked that up on vinyl.
Sweet.
And thanks to Buke, you got a PS4 and Horizon Zero Dawn.
Horizon Zero Dawn rules, dude.
Yep, see, Buke doesn't lead you astray.
No, you did me solid, buddy.
Okay, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. I had to buy some vinyl because my friend Jay's going to be staying a couple nights with me, so we have some late hockey and metal nights ahead of us. Nice Heaven and Hell, as I drop it.
Was until you dropped it.
Heaven and Hell, The Devil You Know, a nice colored vinyl. Merciful Fate, Melissa.
Beautiful.
I hate to admit that I bought this one, but I like it. Suicide Silence, The Cleansing. Havoc, Informicide, nice.
What's with
Yellow
the havoc?
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
Can we talk about how the break in Bible Black on that Heaven and Hell album, like when the song finally picks up,
Oh yeah,
breaks heavy, is like one of the best.
it's epic, dude.
Jay and I had this talk a couple.
He's never read.
Yeah, Jay and I had this talk a couple weeks ago when Jay first turned me on to this album. I don't think people realize how heavy these guys still had it when they got together and wrote this album.
Mm-hmm. I don't mind, but I wish it had been called Black Sabbath. I mean, it should have been, but whatever. But Bible Black is a great fucking song, dude. You're right about that.
To me, it makes sense. To me, it is a Black Sabbath album like that. I mean, that particular song though, especially bit finally breaks the heavier sections. It's timeless. It is fucking awesome.
No, they nailed it, dude. I mean, it is Last Alone. That's the classic fucking Dio intro, and then it just fucking takes off like a house on fire, dude. So good. Yeah. Did you have a chance to go see them when they were touring?
I never did. I never
You
got
and I
the
saw
chance.
him.
Yep,
Yeah, I
that's
saw
my
a
number
couple
one
times.
show of all time.
I saw them
And,
2 or 3 times.
Couple more. The album we've been talking about, Reciproc something.
Do not deviate.
Do not deviate. It's sold out now, but it's a nice clear vinyl. And got this at my local record store downtown on Friday. Steel Panther.
There you go. Let's see the gatefold. It's got to have some tits or something in it. Okay.
So, a midget with 2 girls.
John is just like, man, how did I let that one slip by me?
I like that. It's just a midget with 2 girls.
Like, that's it.
Nothing too unusual. All right, I've only got 2. I finally got my pre-ordered copy of the Sludge album, Dim and Slime-Ridden Kingdoms, and it's technically not releasing until next week, but I received my box set of Death's Human, which comes with a nice slip mat and these like heavy-duty magnets of each of the album covers from Death, as well as a nice little poster.
I didn't order the box set. I didn't know about the magnets.
Yeah, and like the bone with blue and blood splattered vinyl. Really nice.
Dude, shut up. Can't you see I feel bad? The fuck? Hey, George, did you see there was a Sludge, some new thing on iTunes?
It's a compilation.
Yeah, but I was going to say, if people are interested in getting into that band, it's the perfect entry. And I want to say it was a fairly reasonable price. And it's a compilation of all the Sludge stuff from different albums. So
yeah,
just a band that people really need to check out. I mean, yeah, they're good.
And how do you pronounce
good
that?
for you. I
Sludge.
should probably. Do you have any of the other vinyl, or is that the only one
That's
you have?
the only one they have on vinyl.
That's the only one. Okay.
Yeah. All right. How about a deep track?
Here's a song that you never fucking heard. Here's a song that we think you should know. Here's a song that you never fucking heard. Now listen. Here's a song that you never fucking heard. Here's a song that we think you should know. Here's a song that you never fucking heard.
Steve, is there a track that you really kind of dig that most people don't know about from an album that maybe they should hear?
I won't say it's that most people don't know about, but I'll keep it simple. I will say, just based on recent discussion I've had with some friends of mine, that as far as Iron Maiden goes, I think that Sea of Madness on somewhere.
We just had a conversation about that.
It was my deep track from last week.
Yeah, no, I think that Sea of Madness is an underrated Iron Maiden track.
And I'll say the same thing I said last week is, me personally, I don't see that as a deep track. And I said the same thing to Jay because I personally love that song. So it may be a deep track to other people, but I love the album and I love that song.
Yeah, it's totally true. There, like every time it comes on, I'm like, man, why isn't this like a? It's one of those things. Just like this isn't like a Maiden staple. They have so many great songs, so it's hard to choose from. But I think that Sea of Madness is one of the ones where it's just such a fucking great cut. It's one that I feel like often gets overlooked.
It's you know what? It reminds me. I would put it in the same. It's maybe a little bit better than this song, but it's just a killer fucking riff. And then I like that breakdown in the middle where they kind of the sun don't shine. It does the whole thing and then it comes back up.
Absolutely.
But then a song that it reminds me of, just for also kind of weird, not your normal Maiden riff, is Back in the Village off of Power Slave. It's like this weird little one nobody ever mentions, but it's just fucking brilliant, But Sea of Madness, that riff that's a riff for days right there.
How do you guys feel about Wasted Years?
I like
it.
Oh my man,
I love that song.
I love that song. I think sonically it's a very catchy song. I think the lyrics are cool. It's just all around awesome.
I love Alexander the Great, and that never gets any love.
I like Loneliness, Long Distance Runner. Nobody likes that fucking song.
I like that song.
Good. Steve and I are getting an apartment together. Let's just share our record collection. Be fine.
All right. Steve, that was Steve. So, John.
That was
Okay, from November's Doom off the Knowing album, a song called Shadows of Light.
There you
It's
All right.
probably my favorite November's Doom album back in 2000. So
Excellent. Will.
My deep track going all the way back to 1990, Violence, Subterfuge off of Pressing the Masses album. Song Subterfuge. I think it's track 3 or 4. It's there's not a clunker on that whole album, but this is one of the ones that's it's not World in a World or some of the other more popular ones that came out back then. If you were even if you're a listener, you were even alive back then. But love that album. It was anyway. That's all. I won't say anything more about that. That's all I got to say.
That's all I have to say about that. Mine is not arguably not a deep track, but I'm choosing it from a record in which it is a deep track. As weird as that sounds, and what I mean is the original version. Everybody would think it was brilliant. Why are you choosing that song? And I bet you, Steve. I got Steve on this one too. From Live Evil, Black Sabbath, the live version of "Children of the Sea" is one of the great vocal moments in Ronnie James Dio history. Up to and including the last great "Oh They Say It's Over," which is towards the end of the song. Mm-hmm. But if you don't know that version of that song, you need to have that version of that song.
I got to tell you, Jay was pretty awesome seeing that on tour too.
Yeah, fuck you, John. How many times I got to say fuck you, dude? Where did you see him? Was it out there by you?
I saw it at the Cow Palace.
Oh, you saw it at the Cow fucking Palace, no doubt, dude.
Yeah, 1982 at the Cow Palace.
And was the Mob Rules tour you were at?
Yeah, it was unbelievable.
You remember who opened? And that's just a weird trivia question because I don't know, but I mean,
no, because all those bands back then, because there's only just a single opener usually in those shows.
Yeah,
they all kind of meld together. I can't.
Could have been anybody. Yeah.
Yeah, could have been Crocus for all I know. I don't know.
Let's just say it was. Let's just say it was Crocus and leave it at that.
Yeah.
That's our new representative
look,
band.
I'm not lying. They actually did open at one of the shows I went to. I just can't remember who they opened for.
So was Crocus. There you go.
Yeah. Puke. Deep track.
Off of Imaginations from the Other Side by Blind Guardian, their second track, I'm Alive.
Yeah, good choice.
Surprisingly, they don't play it more. I did some research on this. They've only played it recorded 30 times live, which was pretty surprising to me.
Yeah, John and I saw it.
Yeah.
It's one of the it's the name of one of the better Halloween songs from I think Keeper of the Seven Keys Part 2. I'm Alive.
When you and John saw them, that was the record they were doing.
They did the whole album.
They did the whole album.
They did for the whole tour, yeah.
Yep.
I thought of the Halloween song myself. That song's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with the Blind Guardian.
Do you like power metal at all, Steve?
I mean,
that's a no. That's a no.
Yeah.
Silence is telling.
I like heavy metal, and I definitely like some power metal stuff. But not heavily. As far as like the hero finish or refined power metal.
And yet you mentioned Halloween. I love that. That's good. I'm using that from. That's a hard no right there. Yep, we got you. Nailed it.
Steve's face was just about. I'm about to tell you you'll be dead in 2 weeks.
I think it was a little bit more like, how do I not break your heart here completely?
Yeah. My number one, like Will, goes back to 1990, but it is decidedly less heavy. In fact, it isn't really metal. It's more of a hard rock kind of thing. But I was listening to this song again the other day, and I hadn't heard it in years, so I felt it qualified. And the band is called Warrior Soul. The album is their first Last Decade Dead Century, and the song is The Losers. Anybody know that song?
Honestly, no.
Not here.
I know Warrior Soul. I don't know the song. So
okay. Well, it's pretty deep then. All right. Before we go, I wanted to mention I had a conversation with one of our listeners, and he was inquiring about Metalheads t-shirts. We did a small run for Deathfest last year, but it hasn't been financially viable to do t-shirts because...
Is it your mom, George? Is that what you're talking about?
No.
Okay, just checking. Honey, why don't you put out t-shirts for that little podcast of yours?
Yeah. We could do something like, the hell is that thing? Teespring, I think. Yeah. But we did try that once. We couldn't fund it. And honestly, I don't know the quality of their work. I use Custom Ink to do our t-shirts. They do quality work. They use Gildan t-shirts. It's good stuff. But it's not, we can't do order it as people want it basis. So I wanted to put it out there. If you're a listener and you would like a t-shirt, please email me at george@metalheadspodcast.com. Or Twitter or whatever, and let me know that you're interested. If we can get enough interest, then maybe we will throw together some cash and get some shirts in the sizes that people want and make it happen. So, all right. And before we go, make sure to check out Crypt Sermon. You can pick them up on Bandcamp, iTunes, probably any reputable music place is going to have it.
Decibel Magazine. If you want the full collection, you're going to have to get Decibel.
Yep, that's what I did. That's how hardcore I am, Steve. I fucking subscribed to get it. So there you go. You can also check us out on SoundCloud, on Facebook. We're on Twitter, Instagram, Stitcher, and wearemetalheads.com. If you want to know what we're listening to, look us up on Bandcamp. I am Metalheads George on Bandcamp. All right, here we are at the end of another episode. Thank you, Steve, for joining us. It's been good. Hopefully we can meet up with you at the Decibel Fest and have a beer or 3.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was a good time.
It was a real pleasure, buddy. We love it. We'd love it when somebody will stick around with us. us and talk metal with us. We love talking about your band, but we also want to know what you think of other bands. So it's just really awesome when people stick around.
Yep.
Yeah, I had fun. It was a great time.
Excellent.
Thank you.
All right, we will talk to you next time.
So long, farewell, go home. Auf Wiedersehen, so long, good night. Sleep tight, good night, go home. Whipper, why are you still listening? The show is done.
I said the show's over. Seriously, George, just turn it off. Turn it off. That's the end of the show. People aren't even listening. They are listening, apparently. Seriously. Fuck you. Good night.